Woo! I have returned, my friends. Good morning. Woo! Hope you guys are doing good. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Oh, I'm back. We're so back into game development. Hope you guys are doing good and you had a good weekend. 4 hours late. Yes, I was picking up the car. I was took a lot longer than we thought because we had to wait in traffic. And then there were like 1 or 2 things with the car that needed to be fixed.
Am I so out of touch?
We needed to drive, test it out a bit.
Real Superku just subscribed. Wicked steer.
My Steam game sold 5,000 copies on Steam in my first week of launch. I'm hyped as fuck. Oh, congratulations. What game are we talking about, bro? Cakes on wheels? Good morning. Also,
hello.
Wait a minute. How are you guys doing? Thank you, Mr. Super Cool, for the support, bro. Very nice of you. Good morning. It is so hot in Germany today, and it's only going to get hotter. Oof.
Countdown to next bad take. 30 seconds.
Damn, bruh. I hope that does not happen. And please tell me it's going to... Okay, it's gonna rain here, I guess. That's gonna be a good time. Hopefully. Yeah. This is gonna happen, right?
Demo out.
Oof.
Check. Mixed review.
Yeah, so today is
Check.
Monday, and it's already way too hot.
Check.
God damn.
Unbalanced game. Check.
Yeesh.
UI bugs.
Wow, you're cool. Yeah, we dead.
All day.
It's over,
Check.
boys. The game is called Click and Conquer on Steam. Shh. Click and Conquer on Steam sold 5,000 units? Oh, 200 positive reviews. God damn, that's 2,000 sold units. Congratulations. Wait, you didn't have that many followers. What happened, bro? That's nice. Is it a tower defense? Casual strategy simulation clicker game. Aha. Wait, is it a cookie clicker? Chance for to spawn. Hey, I love your pixel art, man. That looks great.
Shut up, bitch.
What is your internal resolution?
Shut up!
What is your internal resolution, bro? Oh, you guys on YouTube, good morning. Excited to see this stream. Oh, my man, real poke. That's awesome. Yeah, we're gonna talk about the Randy video. I find that interesting. Good morning, 4 p.m. Yeah, I guess it's not morning anymore, but for me, the day just starts. Because, yeah, like, at least working. What's your internal resolution, my man? Very good stuff. Looks very high to me. No, don't save it, man. Open it, you dummy. Oh, wow, that's really small, man. What the hell? Why is that so small? What? Hey? Multiple dollars earned per second. Multiplies dollars earned per second by 3. Damn, that's a lot. Peaceful Porari. No Man's Land. Map select. I see. Map select. Okay. Oof. So, and I guess that's the enemies or something? And what's this? Is this snow? It's really small. Why is it so zoomed out? How long have you been out on Steam for, man? Very nice. Congratulations. I really mean it, man. That's awesome. So, wait. How long have you been on Steam? Oh, this year. April 2024. May, June, July. Well, we are not even in June. Okay, so you got 1,000 wish lists pretty quickly. What happened here? Check the engine, Cakes. Don't tell me it's Godot. Why is it Godot, man? Interesting. It's 1920 by 1080. That's the base resolution of Godot. The map gets bigger as you progress. Here's the crazier thing. Concept, dev, marketing, etc. was tracked at 350 hours. Wow. So you spent 350 hours on 5,000 sales. How much is the game? Oh, why is it minus 40% already, man? Interesting. Click and conquer demo. Learn more about this. Is that the demo page? It is. Interesting. Cool. You had an all-time peak of 35. That's crazy. When did you release that? In May. So shortly after your... Aha! Like, would you say that the Steam demo page helped you gain more wishlists? It's difficult to say, right? Because you released it, I think, exactly at the same time. No, actually you released the Steam page first. Is this the demo page release? 2nd of May. Wait, April 29. Oh yeah. So you did release your demo page and that pushed the game a lot. Interesting. And so what is the gameplay loop about this? Really cool. Damn. It is a clicker game. So you don't do anything in the maps? Interesting. Okay. Well, I guess we'll play it then. Unfortunately, I don't really have time to play it now. Would like to play it now, to be honest. Oh, you made some patches. Let's see. That's something I'm lacking as well. How many did you do so far? You made demo on June 7. But the demo was already out. I guess... Wait a minute. Demo updated plus multi-language support. You got 8 updates. Next fest was about 1k wishlists. Itch, Reddit posts, word of mouth, about 1.5 thousand. Next fest launch was about 500. Next fest to launch. Oh, I see. So between next fest and launch. What are we talking about today? First, we are looking at a viewer game. He just released his game and he sold 5,000 units, which is incredible. It's all, he released it. When did he release it? Oh, actually 5 days ago. He released it 5 days ago. So it's like 1,000 sales a day. That's really cool, man. So if you multiply that by 3, you have like 15,000 earned or something, which is awesome. I would assume it's like 15,000. Wait, no, I can't do math. Wait, 5,000, right? Yeah, 15,000. Oh wait, you do have a trailer, right? I should have just looked at the trailer. I'm so stupid. Why do I never look at the trailers? Let's see. All right. No, it's more zoomed in here though. Okay. How do you do these animations? Interesting. Wait, I don't understand what this is. You're clicking? Oh, it costs money to click? Bomb count? Aha, so the skill tree reveals itself as you go? Wait, so you're tossing bombs. Interesting. Rewards. I guess you have only a certain amount of bombs, huh? Bomb count +1. Yeah, there it is. Click and conquer. Aha, good name, by the way. Really good name. Cool. So wait, you have 4 bombs. And this is what you destroyed or what's left, I guess. Difficult to say. Cool. Congratulations, man. Very nice. And the developer is in the game, in the game, in chat too. One question. Let me see here. Give me a sec. So, when was next fest for you? Was it in June here? From the 8th till the... So how does that even work? It says 500 followers, 50 followers, but you said next fest was 1k wishlist. So you basically got 2 times more followers than you got wishlists. And then you're saying Reddit and word of mouth. Can we see your Reddit post? Is that possible? So you made, in total, you made 4 of those 2 weeks ago. Improvements and bug fixes. Okay, not that many cared about that. And multi-resolution support, demo updated. Yeah, so basically when you're just doing a repeat of demo update, demo update, demo update, people don't really care so much. And then this is now available in another post. Let's see. So, oh wow, cool. Very good post. Aha, nice and short. Good stuff. Okay. Patch notes. I see. So, wait a minute. Okay, and then this is the release. Good stuff. Yeah, very nice. Afternoon, Cakez. Yeah, good afternoon. No exception. Hope you're doing good, man. Good luck to see. Thank you. Reddit. Thank you very much. I'm the biz person. Sockhouse was purely... Oh, wait. So it's 2 people. How long did you develop then? When you're saying 350 hours, is that multiplied by 2 because both of you worked at the same time? Or is that combined? Okay, so basically if both of you work 10 hours, then that's 20 hours that you add to the list. Interesting. I want to post how obsessing over stats nearly killed my motivation. Aha, so this is like, okay, obsessing over stats. Okay, wait, he posted that twice. 3 times! And in Russian too? Wait a minute. There's gotta be ChatGPT. Do you then, if I wait, if I go to Google now, right? And then I let it translate. Translator. Russian. Russisch to English. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a different post, right? I'm an indie developer working alone. Recently localized my game. Doing development. Ah, it's a different... I think it's different. Right? Yeah. Okay. I challenged myself to build a commercial game in 300 hours. Here's how it went. Time breakdown. Cool. That's it. Yeah, this is the game that we're talking about. We found the Reddit post. Is that a lot? Let's read this though. I find that interesting. I really like this type of stuff because I think that when you're starting out in game development, the best thing that you can do is a small game like this. Now, obviously, since we have the developer in chat, and I'm pretty sure you guys... Aha. That's exactly my question. How long have you been making games before this? I don't know about you, how long you've been making the game. If you are... What are you saying? You are the business person. And he is the dev person. So what you're saying is... He's been trying to make games for 3 years. You've been making games for how long? Interesting. So I've been spending... Wait, I challenged myself to build a commercial game in 300 hours. Here's how it went. Time breakdown and lessons. Lessons learned. After spending 3 years on and off making my first game, this is the most important part. And unless you do this first, you are most likely not going to see the same results that these guys are seeing, because in these 3 years on and off, you will do a lot of mistakes which didn't exactly set the world on fire, and I needed a new approach. Yes. So why do you know that? Well, because you did something for 3 years and it didn't work out. So you obviously need to switch it up and do something differently. And so they decided to make a game in 300 hours. I'm a software developer for 15 plus years. I've only done game jams, 4 game jams myself. Okay, so you do have the software knowledge, which is very important to have as well. But game development journey, not so much. Okay, so what did you do in the game then? Heavily inspired by Dig, different tree, but same mechanics. Okay, that's when a dev friend of mine said something that stuck with me. You don't need 3 years, you can make a small commercial game in about 300 hours, and that's exactly the most sustainable way to do this long term. Let's do a calculator. So in the business world, they take 165 hours as a 40-hour week, something like that, and that is a month. And if you multiply that by 2, we are about 2 months. If you work for 8 hours a day on your game, something like that, maybe you work on the weekend as well, you're sitting at about 330 hours after 2 months, which is about the time these guys took, but they were 2 people. So basically, in about a month, if you can do it that fast, it's purely just working, but possible, you can make a game that is even somewhat commercially viable. Like we took a look at the game, right? It costs, right now it's on a discount, 40%, 3 euros. If I take him by word, 5,000 units sold times 3, sorry, 5,000, not 500. Then we're sitting at 15,000. We divide that by 2.
That is a salary in a month of 7,500. Now, I don't know about you guys, but if I get that a month, that would be great.
Okay. Nice lofi Pokemon. Yeah. Cool. Where's the Reddit post? We lost it. Ladies and gentlemen, we lost him. Here it is. Let me get this. And we can get rid of all of these and we put this here. It's a bit easier to find. FYI, Steam takes 30%, but we are only the first 5 days. Yeah, it's only the first 5 days. It's also expected to slow down, of course, but it's still good enough. And I'm expecting it to probably reach over 20k. Now, 20k, Steam takes 30%. Let's make it 20k over 1 year. Maybe it goes even harder, right? You don't know. But let's say it's 20k over 1 year after Steam takes everything from you. And you divide that by 2 for a month investment. Or let's say, like how long? You say 300 hours, right? But when did you start? Or does the post go into this? When did you start and when did you end? Let's say you started in January and you ended in May. That's 4 months, but only a couple of hours a day. No. This guy has been making 3 years, but they made a game in 300 hours. Calendar-wise, it took us from January. Yeah. Yeah. So that's what I thought. Oh wow, I'm good. Holy. Yeah. So January till when? Till now? Till release and till playable version. I guess I can answer that myself, right? January till May. So 5 months. About 5 months, guys, 4 to 5 months for a playable demo version. Yeah, so this is your demo that you put out, right? It was before the next fest, and I think the next fest happened here, right? June 9th or June 7th, 8th. How long is next fest? I'm pretty sure this is next fest, and then this is release. Must be somewhere in June. That's when a friend of mine said it's something that stuck with me. At only 3 years, you can make a small commercial game in 300 hours, and that's actually the most sustainable way to do this long term. I agree. I don't like talking about people. Like I have an example of someone that never switches it up, makes small games, and is not that successful. Now you got to make small games, but you also have to learn from them enough to be successful. I don't really like talking about this too much because I don't really like, let's say, I mean, you said it, but you can also do this and still fail. But it's more sustainable because you don't invest so much time. That's true. At first I didn't believe it, but I just wrapped up my first game. It had some systems and knowledge I could reuse and didn't want to spend another 1,000 hours to finish something. So I gave myself a challenge. 1 game, 300 hours, shipped on Steam. See, this is a challenge that I want to do too in the future. Because that is not only fun and short, but also it's difficult, but you see a lot of progress happening and you have deadlines to keep. Which is, it can help you get into the mindset of releasing games. I plan to write a lot more about our whole playbook. Choosing the right idea. Yeah, prototyped a few concepts, about 16 hours, and landed on something inspired by the wave of short and sweet idle games doing well lately on Steam. Inspired by the wave of short and sweet idle games doing so well lately on Steam. Okay. The core mechanic is a twist of Dix, I don't know that game, but more variety and playstyle, potential and skills and upgrades. That decision ended up being a bless and a curse, probably because you need to balance these, right? These upgrades. I already knew the core loop was fun, but I caught flack on making a clone. I caught flack, who cares? This probably from other game developers that don't know anything. Now see, like that's the problem, because most people, especially gamers, don't really care as long as the game's good. And the only people that actually care more and are very vocal about it are game developers themselves, because they think it's cheap. But in all honesty, it's probably because they are also jealous. That feedback ended up pushing me to double down on variety and new mechanics, and it became a core focus of the project. Okay. The time breakdown, 300 hours in total. Oh wow, 120 hours in programming, and then this one, I hate this one the most, UI and polish. Guys, how long did we spend on UI and polish, huh? How many times did we remake this menu? How many times? And the skill tree? Okay, game design and planning. I wonder what that means. 2 out of 5 years UI is hard, yeah it is. Balancing and playtesting. Marketing and launch prep, localization, prototyping and refactoring. Art and visual assets. Wait. You mean to tell me that your game... Who made the art then? Because that looks good. I don't know about you guys, but I think this looks great. So, unless you paid someone to do the art, which I don't think you did, where did you get the art from if you didn't do it yourself? Because that looks really good. That looks professional. Chat, am I wrong? Does this look professional to you? Just right here. Meh? What do you mean meh? Took 5 hours to buy the art? If you think that Orange Pixel, who has been making a full-time living for 200 years is an example of small games not working out, I don't know what to say. See, like, I know what you mean. And he is making a living, that's true. I mean, fine. Let's look it up. The one thing that I don't understand is, at least on Steam, he does not seem that successful. Let's say that. Why can I not find this guy here? Fine, let's do it like this. Steam Publish. It's gotta be this guy. Yeah. So basically, if you take a look at all of the games he's put out on Steam, everything is that. No, not announcements. Games, man. No, please, games. Can you just please show me the games, man? Here it is. So new all. Oops, I clicked this twice, didn't I? This one. No! Sorry, apologize. This one. Demo, this one. Oh wow, that's quite a lot. I gotta be honest here, that's quite a lot, man. So, this one is not out yet. So let's not talk about this. When I look at the reviews, at least, the reviews tell me that I don't think he managed to get one over 100, if I'm not mistaken. That's at least on Steam. I don't know if he's selling his games on other platforms too. So, and we have watched the video. He earned about, I don't know how much it was. Was it 500,000 or 800,000 over 10 years? Or 500,000 over 10 years? So it was a respectable amount. I'm not saying that it's not respectable, but yeah, so I think I'm right, yeah. So what I mean by that is, there's got to be something with the games that, here, 2021 mixed. Even though the game looks amazing, in my opinion, this looks really good. Looks professional. I really like the look of this. Maybe not so much the character, but the world looks great. 500k, that's impressive. I think that is over 10 years though. Pay attention to the price as well. Oh, I see. So he puts the price very high. Right, and minus 80%. Well, this one is... See, that's what I mean. But again, I don't really like talking about other people because we have reacted to him before. And there might be sales coming from other sources as well. How much did you make? I have not sold my game yet. He doesn't need hundreds of reviews. That's the point of keeping the scope small. True. Well, I agree with you, but I see it like this. If I've been making a game for 10 years, there's got to be at least one gem in there, right? That's how I see it. Now, I could be wrong with that assumption, but if it takes 10 years to make a failure or to get a failure, and it takes 10 years to be successful. That's how I see it. But again, like we have also watched the video, the 10 years no hit wonder. It does scale up over time, meaning maybe in the beginning you don't earn much, but as you get more and more projects out, maybe the curve just keeps going up because your revenue from all of the backlog of games you have made and the future games you're releasing, that all gets added together. Obviously you do more. He shares his revenue every year. He tries to aim below 60k, comes close. He averages, we figured that out too. He's about at 50k average only per year. Where he lives, that's actually good. That's a good salary. And so he's making a living. That's great. And so what I'm trying to say with this though is that while I totally agree with making small games, and when you're starting out, you should start making small games and focus on finishing and releasing them. At least for me, at some point I would want to make a bigger game though, to have a shot at like something really successful. And also, to me, it looks like he's never really switched up his strategy, aka the type of game that he's making, which 2D side-scrollers are notoriously difficult to sell on Steam, isn't it? For what, 20 to 30 years or going? So yeah, anyways, let's continue here. Okay, so core cost breakdown. Assets, tools, Steam Fest. I wonder capsule art, 250, okay. This is a bit odd here, I have to say. So they must have bought the assets. Unfortunately, the developer left, so I don't know. Hey, Push, man, I hope you're doing good, bro. People super impressed about the 500k, completely forgetting that it's over 10 years. Yeah. You need to keep that in mind. It's over 10 years. But it's still good because he's able to support himself and his family. So that's great. DevOps, legal, Steamworks setup, 5 hours. Oh, I spend way more time on this. I don't know how these guys are so fast with this because I'm always confused. Interesting. Cost breakdown. What it took to build and launch. This project wasn't just a time investment. Here's what it cost to actually ship. My time for $15 an hour cost $4,000. CAD, what is CAD, guys? Canadian dollars. So these are worth less than US dollars. So for him it was about $3,000. Really? Okay, I see. Capsule art, outsourced, assets, tools. So you didn't... Wait, so $100 Steam page. You mean to tell me that you bought assets for $100? And this is what you got? Where did you buy these? I think they look great. Where is it? Okay, to break down financially and cover only out-of-pocket costs. To break even financially... Wait, total cost, not counting my time. Total cost including time. Wait, to break even financially and to cover only out-of-pocket costs, I need to earn about $450. To pay myself a minimum wage for my time, I need to earn about $3,000. That's not a minimum. I guess it is though. That may sound like a lot, but for a finished game I can continue to update, discount and bundle forever. It feels totally doable. Yeah, so because the game will earn sales over time. That's why it's so good. Exactly. Hello Sturdy Post, good morning. What got easier? Thanks to game number 1. My first game, I was learning everything from scratch. It taught me a ton this time around. See guys, I told you! The first game is learning. It's the same for everybody. See, I'm learning too. And
I'm about, if I exclude learning how to write an engine, I'm about 3.5 years, maybe 2.5 years into my game. Okay, guys? Yeah. So that...
whatever that's called. I already knew how to publish to Steam, set up settings, I see, and build project. Okay. I knew what design patterns worked for me and didn't second guess them. Good. I have a much better understanding of Godot. Nice. Glad you like Godot, man. I hate it. Finally added localization and saving. Things I had no clue how to do before. Lessons learned. Build a solid foundation early so you can afford to spaghetti code the final 10% without chaos. Nice! I like this guy. See? Spaghetti code. Quick tips that saved me. QA takes longer than you think. Oh yeah. I had a few friends who could do full playthroughs and offer valuable feedbacks. Good. Very important. See, this is what the Gnomes guys did too. They had a couple of friends and they asked them to play the game on Discord, streaming the game to them. So if you are in a situation where you're making a game and you haven't had one of your friends playtest the game for you yet, and you are, let's say, 6 months plus in, maybe work on a prototype as quickly as possible so that people can play that version, and then have your friend play the game to you through Discord and give you feedback. And tell them to be honest with you. If they're too nice to you, then they're not helping you. Okay? They need to tell you that your game is shit. And they need to look you in the eye and say, you suck, bro. So that you can change something. And that's the most important thing. Very important. Yeah, so that's why their game got so good so fast. Because they had friends helping them. Your game's shit, Cakes? Yeah, I know that. Implement a developer console early. Yes, I agree with that a lot. I should have done that too. Oh, I remember. Oh, that was so. Oh man, yeah, true. Being able to skip around and manipulate data saves. Yes, good stuff, man. Very good idea. Very, like, this stuff I like. You know, see, this is what I like a lot about this post, and not so much about the Slawmancer post. Okay, well, the Slawmancer showed an early version of the game. Then they showed the final email they sent and the data. But they didn't talk about specifics. For example, developer console, how did they playtest, who playtested, import reusable code from past projects. This stuff is something tangible that everyone can do and can grasp. If you're talking about, let's say, game development and learning something, but you abstract it so much that you're only speaking in general terms, while you might sound smart, you're not actually providing any value. Because the person that sees the video will feel smart together with you, but when they get to sit down on the project and it's time to work on the project, they don't know anything. Because they have nothing to grab. They don't know what that means. When someone says, your game is bad, you think your game is better than you think, and others think your game is worse, they give you honest feedback, that doesn't really help. Because then all you know is, oh, I think my game is better than it actually is. Because I like it so much because I made it. Yeah, great, that's great. And now? That's a problem, how do I fix it? No one says that, or let's not say no one, but barely anyone tells you, well, here are the steps that you can do to identify if a game sucks and how to change it. And I think that needs to be put out more, especially online, on videos and on posts like these, because then it actually helps, and my wife just keeps calling me! 1 second. Goodness. Back. What happened to the music? Did I just get unlucky? I got unlucky, okay. I'm back. I'm sorry, guys. It's always, of course, always. Can't have a 4-hour stream without interruptions! Okay, coffee. Close doors first. I did. Okay, so what was I talking about? Oh yeah, context, right? Did I increase the size of this? Holy. It's gonna be like this. Like this maybe, yeah. 170%, okay. So yeah, I think this, to reiterate this one more time and then please move on, right? I think this is really important to spit out specifics so that when you are starting out, you have something tangible, something to do, something to look for. And I actually want to build an entire page where it's filled with specifics of what you can do. Because you learn a lot when making your first game and you make so many mistakes. And I agree with all of them. But aha! Buy and use assets. Doing your own art, unless you do that specifically, will balloon your dev time. True. True. So much, man. Look at this. So I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna show you from my game. I have made explosions. Drawn myself. I learned to do pixel art and I have about 3 years of experience now. I'm quite good at pixel art. I drew these myself. I drew basically 95% of it myself. There has been some contributions from viewers, like for example, Unma Bombier made this one, this lovely golem here, really cool. And I actually bought this asset as a boss because I thought it looked cool and it actually fit close to this guy in the game. Long story short though, I have been making my own assets and obviously I learned how to make assets along the way, along making my game. And the problem was that I learned and improved pixel art, but I also changed my style. So in the very beginning, I had these types of trees, and for those of you who played Stardew Valley will probably know this shape. That is very similar to Stardew Valley type trees. Now, I switched away from the style to go more into, you can call it cartoon-ish type style, if you want to. Less detail, less shading. I would call it cleaner pixel art in a way, where you don't place that many pixels. It still takes a long time to do and looks really good. There are many examples of stuff looking really awesome. Like for example, this guy looks really cool, or this map. Like this stuff can look amazing, even when you don't place that many pixels. But over the course of the 3 years that I've been doing this, since the style changed so much, the problem now is that not so much anymore, but the game is very inconsistent when it comes to the art. And you can see that, and that breaks the immersion of the game. It puts you out of the game. And that can be really difficult to recover from, on top of the already large amount of time and effort that you spent on the art. Hello Shade11, good morning. Nice emote, bro. So yeah, I agree with him, and unless you have the time and effort and strength to do this, I totally agree with buying assets. And we will actually do that probably today with music. I'll show you a quick link. Is it okay if I show the link, Mr. AQ, like the messages that you sent me? AQ has sent me a website where we can get music by paying money, and this music can then be used in the game. And the cool part is that the developers of... What is this game called again, man? What is the game called? Let me find the game. I know the game. Ember Watch, thank you. For those of you who might have played it, Amber Watt is an indie game that is using this music. And you can see here that the customer doesn't really care that this might be music that someone else is using in a different type of game, because there's actually so many songs here. You can see how many pages this has. I think it's more than 500. Actually, it's 6. No, it's more than 600, is it? Yeah, it's almost 700 songs. So out of these 700 songs, you can buy them and then use them in your game. And as far as I know, they're actually quite cheap, as far as I heard. And we'll figure this out today, which is why I don't know that exactly yet. You can subscribe to their Patreon and maybe get all of the songs, and you can use them. But I don't know what happens when you unsubscribe from Patreon. Or you can buy the songs directly for $20 a piece. But we'll figure out the exact pricing today. That being said, however, a song that you can loop yourself with loop timestamps that you can put in your game for $20, I would call that a good deal, man. I had literally have people tell me on Fiverr that they want $50 for one walking animation. Pixel art, 6 frames. Okay, so $20 for a song, and you put, what, 5 songs in your game? Hey. So yeah, anyways, and it looks like these guys lucked out, because I think they bought an asset pack and they bought songs, and they only spent $100 on this. If you take away the Steam fee, which is $100. So $100 on all of the assets for the game, and they earned $5,000. Hey. Very good stuff. Build a solid, let's see, lessons learned. Build a solid foundation early. Yeah, we read that. Quick tips, yeah, we read that as well. Start localization and saving early. Lessons for my next game. Okay, let's see. So, localization and saving early, okay. Retrofitting these systems at the end was a nightmare. Okay. Yeah, I don't have localization at all already. Managing 2 code bases for the demo and the full version caused way too many headaches. Next time I'll use a toggle flag. Yeah, a toggle flag in C++, what you can do is a define. I like doing that a lot, like demo. If dev demo, then the demo only gives you the story maps A to B. And then obviously it locks out the other ones. What was that website again? Oh, I'll link it for you, sure. The music website here. Huh? What happened? What the hell? Bro. Alexander Nakarda is on Spotify. No, why not play all his songs in the background and pick out what music you like over time? Sure, I'll try to do that, man. Can you send me that as a Discord message so I remember? I'll try to do that. Yeah, that sounds really good. Thanks, bro. Yeah, hey, my man. Thanks for joining again, Mr. Push. Hope you're doing good. And your life is great, man. Hope you're doing very well, my friend. Anyways, let's move on. Managing to code, yeah, toggle flag. Yeah, even if it means slightly higher piracy risk. Oh, because you're putting... I see what he means. If you put out... Wait, no, I don't have that at all, but they do have that in Godot. I see what he means. If you put a flag in your source code that turns off a feature, and you put out your Godot executable, the full version, on, let's say, itch.io or Steam, we have seen what can happen when you put out a game on itch, and it can be stolen completely, and then they upload that to the app store, or the, what is it called? The Android store. The Play Store, sorry. And they can sell your game without your consent, earn money, and Apple won't do much about it to stop it. You have to constantly annoy Apple to do something about it, to maybe ban the person that's stealing your game and earning money, but they will never lose the money. So essentially, they can earn hundreds and thousands of dollars by stealing games and get away with it. So, and that can happen with Godot games as well, and that happened with Godot games. One of them is the baby game, right? So really bad. But C++ doesn't have that issue, because if you set up an if define like that, it actually does not include the code at all. So there could be code in there that is actually would break the game if it was if they try to run it. So you can actually save Not safe. Protect yourself against that. In a way. Anyways, final thoughts. I hope this provided some value. Yeah, it did. Thinking, yeah. If you're dev trying to scope smart... Sorry. If you're dev trying to scope smart, iterate faster, and actually finish a game without losing your sanity, I truly hope this inspires you. I love to hear from others who've tried something similar, who've considered your own 300-hour challenge. Feel free to share. Always curious how others approach the same idea. As for me, I honestly don't know how well Click and Conquer will do financially. Oh, so this was before. Okay, maybe it flops, maybe it takes it off, but I'm proud of what I made. And more importantly, I finished it without burning out. Very good stuff, yeah. Because that's really difficult to do on long projects. If it fails, I'm only 300 hours and a few $100 out. That's fine, yeah, exactly. That's a small price to pay for experience, growth, and confidence I gained along the way. Thanks for rating. TLDR, I challenged myself to make a personal game for 3 years. It took us $450 it cost him without excluding his time, and then they earned about $5,000 so far, which is only after the first 5 days, because the game came out on the 25th of June, meaning they are very likely... Wait, no, sorry, not five. Sorry, I said $5,000. I meant 5,000 units, which is very likely $15,000. Not $5,000, $15,000. So they have made more than enough money to pay for themselves and some. Math. Yeah, no, I miss. It was 5,000 units sold. Good stuff, man. Really cool. $15 per hour. Ouch. Barely above minimum wage in some areas. Yeah, but it's enough to live, man. Listen, so this guy doesn't understand. Let's say you earn $15 an hour, but you can do what you love. And that will be enough to pay your bills, buy food, and maybe, you know, go out once or twice a month. Or you could work a job that you hate, that you have to commute to, and you stay in traffic all day, cursing at the one driving in front of you because they suck. And you basically build up this anger and frustration over time. Like, I would take the $50 every day. 100%. Like, even if I would do it, 100%. They earned more though, but he wrote down $15 per hour to have like a bare minimum. I don't really want to do that calculation. It would depress me. Me too, man. Me too. Good stuff. When a dev friend of mine said, "That's me. It's been a blast to see the journey." Oh, that's you. Okay, CK Darby. Cool. Congrats, my goal to release a game. I totally understand you, and I hope this approach will work for you. It did work for them, yeah. It comes down to the reasoning behind making a game in the first place. Yeah, awesome. Here, guys, I'll show you the link. If you guys would like to test it out yourself, it's not that much money to buy. It's only €3. So I think the price tag helps the game a lot. If it was $20, $15, $10... And you guys are saying the dick, or the developer said the dick. Was it the dick that inspired them? Click on it, please. Was it the dick? Or some different game? No, the dig. Come on! The Dick is pretty inspiring, not gonna lie. The Dick, the adventure game? I don't know which game. It probably wasn't this game here. A game about digging a hole, yeah. Digizium? Digizium. This one was the inspiration for the game. I see. Here. That's why the price tag was so low. Interesting how they could put the game on €5. Discounted by 40%, sell the game literally for more than €1 more than this game, and still earn quite a lot of money. That's crazy. Oh my man, who cares on YouTube? Thank you very much for being a member. And you're a subscriber on Twitch, bro. Holy, thank you so much. Big W's in chat for Mr. Who Cares, man. Come on. He's become a very nice member over the last 8 months. Thank you, man. Aha, so this is the inspiration. I gotta be honest, I think the game... This one looks more zoomed in, so it's easier to see in the screenshots. But I like the look of this game more. Especially these screenshots here looks better in my opinion. That's an opinion, though. So yeah, cool stuff. Very nice. Congratulations. Here's the article as well, if you guys want to read it up yourself. Read some more comments. I didn't find some example of a guy making that too and then sharing his knowledge. That's what I was trying to find here. But I guess, oh, here it is. When the dev friend, hi, I'm the dev friend. Stockhouse said his first took 1,000 hours plus. There are a few indies who don't burn out or quit after putting in this much. Yeah, me. I don't burn out. On top of that, there are even fewer that can take those learned skills, apply to time constraint. I cannot, no. Stay within the time constraint and have the game still be fun. Yeah, that's really difficult. That's the point. You can set yourself a time constraint of 1 week. I'm gonna do this in 1 week. Then you do it and the game sucks because you're unable to do everything in that time frame. And so that is a skill that you need to learn. Cool. From interviewing half a dozen indies. How did you do that though? You just asked them questions on Reddit, or how did you do that? I've noticed many struggle to retain their creative side to stay within the scope. Aren't building games from a business mindset. Yeah, most don't. They say that they want a career in games, but often build what they want, not what the market wants. You're already burnt out? Oh! Okay, bro. I mean, you are not mistaken. But, sir, I'm still going, okay? Build what they want, not what they need. Oftentimes it's also difficult to say because that sentiment is correct, but it could also be a result of a terrible game being made, or let's say poor gameplay design. And so you could actually have something there, but the game is just not fun because there's obvious flaws that you don't see as a game developer. But hey, cool. Okay, now, question. Do we do this next year? My entire system for making games without an engine. Don't make an engine!
Oh no, Mr. Randy. Big bro Randy, don't read the comments, Cakes.
So, I kinda agree with him, even though I am making my game in C++. Bruh, selling courses now? Really? That would be so funny. That would be so awesome. So I would not, if I were to start over game development and I really could not with Unity or Unreal Engine, I would at least, let's say I choose C++ or Odin or Zig, whatever, right? These Odin Zig languages, they started appearing out of nowhere, in my opinion. But yeah, they did appeared recently. I would use SDL, Raylib or some sort of framework and then get going on the game. Because these frameworks, believe it or not, they will take away, if we're talking about a 2-year time period, they will take away 80 to 90% of your work. Now, you might not learn how to properly load in the font file and then do font in a shader. You might not learn that, and that can definitely be applied to making games, but the outcome that you get compared to the outcome of, let's say, a Raylib font system it's just font, man. It's an example, and that's the big problem of when you try to do everything yourself, you are wasting so much time, and it's just not feasible. And so the more I think about it, the best solution, if you really want to do C++ and you want to do it reasonably fast, is to use a framework. And why? And the more I think about it, the more it is. Now, obviously not everyone can use a framework because they hate it, right? Maybe it doesn't do what they want it to do. But think about it like this. The developer of Stardew Valley used the framework too. He started to make a game in C# and he used the framework too. And he got impressive amounts of work done. And he is right now one of the biggest games on Steam. His game, Stardew Valley. And it keeps growing. And that to me just shows me how much power you can have with these pre-built systems to aid you. I don't want to make this intro too long because we'll probably talk about this within the video. I would assume that unfortunately, he wasn't able to make a successful game with an engine. Steam powered. And so maybe he's now like, maybe I should have focused more on actually learning game dev rather than engine dev. This is his, wow, 5,000 wishlist. So this is looking good. But the other game was, what was it called again, guys? Raylib font is trash. You can change the font of Raylib. He's not using an engine. No, not Terrafactor. The one where you have to run around in a circle. It's in the description. The other video? Game? Demon Knives. Yeah, there it is. There it is. So I'm talking about this game. Unfortunately, it did not do too hot. But also the demo already gave you everything that you need to know about the game and play the entire content of the game. So they didn't add much content compared to the demo. Maybe they just didn't want to finish it completely. Or they saw that the game just didn't have enough traction to develop it completely and make like a big game out of it. So yeah, but anyways, so that's the game I was talking about. Let's see what he has to say. Mr. Randy. Mr. Randy!
So you want to make a game without an engine, eh?
Yes!
Well, I've been doing it full time for the last 5 years. I've made these
5 years
games so far. And I want to make this video so that I could walk you through the process of how I make games and all my main systems that I have for making shit without an engine. So that instead of, you know, spending 3 or 4 years to get to a point where you actually start making stuff like me.
True, that would be just use Raylib and start today. Yeah? Or STL. Programming a new physics. Oh yeah.
You could just kind of skip straight to my homework answers and start making games straight away. Because there's like a handful of mindset shifts that I'm going to go over in this video. And
louder? You guys want it to be louder? You cannot hear anything? Sorry, let me... Is that better?
Systems that I use that kind of just like put you straight into being able to make something in a couple of weeks.
It's a bit too loud.
I'm going to be giving you all the source code so you can, you know, just jump straight into it yourself. And yeah, just skip over all the years that it took me to learn this stuff the hard way. To kick things off, this right here is a condensed repository of pretty much everything I've learned over the last 5 years.
What is this?
It the blueprint, and it's what I'm using right now to make my current game, which is a factory builder. And in this vid, I'm basically going to go over the 3 main systems that I use in here every single...
Is it in J or C++? Because not everyone has access to J. I wonder what he's doing it in.
...day, and exactly how I use them to, you know, make games and actually be productive instead of rabbit holing on random tech things. So you can check it out, link below. It is completely free, MIT licensed, all that jazz. So let's dive into it, shall we? This guy isn't really a game engine or a framework. It's a blueprint for making games. Now, what that means is it's more like...
Stop lagging! Wait, let me restart. Firefox is lagging. I try to click on stuff and it just dies. So give me 1 second. I need to restart this because it's actually making me mad. It's really annoying. 1 second. I'm not muted. You're banned. When I get back from restarting Firefox, you, sir, are gone. Muted, we hear you. Yeah. History. Previous session. Here we go. There we go. Okay, sorry about this. Let me figure out the correct time stamp. So where's the GitHub link?
Or a framework.
Hey, new user here. Good morning, my man. Hope you're doing good, bro. Let me quickly ban Shade11 because he's just spamming the chat and making life for everyone miserable. Goodbye, bro. Timed out Shade11. Let me play that too. I want to hear that. here. Okay? GitHub, Blueprint. Okay. Ball GG. Okay. Cool name. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. So I did not want to put my email on the webpage yet. There it is. Okay, so it is made in C and Odin. Wait, so can I choose between Odin and C, or is it just Odin? Maybe he goes into this.
It's a blueprint for making games.
Yeah,
now,
okay.
What that means is it's more like a
framework?
set of systems that you can use to jump straight into
a framework
to gameplay programming, you know, without worrying about any of the tech stuff like graphics, sound, entity structure, whatever, right?
So it is a framework then, right? So an engine, no, it's a framework that is like STL or the Bolt framework. Yes. The framework. Bolt work. It's a library, not a framework. No, STL2 and STL3 and Raylib, this is also a library, but it's a framework.
Now, the main benefit here is that when you do actually need to worry about those things later on, it's designed to be expanded upon and just like ripped to shreds to make the exact game that you want to make. You know, games are complicated. Every game.
It's not a framework, it's a blueprint. Aha, triple fusion efficient. Okay.
It's going to have its own constraints and like stuff that it needs to do specifically. So trying to make like a generic engine that can make all of these games just ends up being like this massive task, and it's completely pointless because...
So I have to shout it out here. Since he's doing that, right? A generic system. Now, I have to ask the question. What makes his framework, the blueprint, better than Raylib? Who's gonna tell me that the performance might be worse than Raylib? For example, let him cook? Okay.
We're here to just make a game, right? So why don't we just make a game instead of trying to make a generic engine? That's mindset.
Making a YouTube video for rent doesn't... This is not enough money. That's like $30, bro. It's not gonna give you... no. Okay, let's say 50.
Shift.
That's like 5 doner kebabs, bro. That's not enough money.
Number one, by the way.
Well, maybe if you live in a cheap country, though, for like a week or 2, 3 weeks, if you're stretching and eating rice, bruh.
That's why I'm calling it no engine game dev, because there is no engine here. It's not an API that you interface with. It's literally just code that you own. One of the biggest problems with like going off and starting out, you know, making your own game engine is that we think that we need to make like all this tech and all these systems before being able to like start work on the game.
See,
when in reality,
I have to say it, even though most people will not agree, I love, like I need to phrase this good because I really love their advice, but I think it can also lead people in the wrong direction, which happened to me. But I guess to each their own, and we all make our own decisions. I loved listening to Handmade Hero and Jonathan Blow, both of them. And I like their takes on how modern software is bad and blah, blah, blah. You all have heard these a million times. And how OpenGL sucks and Vulkan is even worse and it's not even worth the time. And basically what you get from listening to these two is that you should build your own systems. And when you take that to heart too much, you are getting down into writing a parser for a PNG file, which is so much waste of time if you're trying to make a game. If you're trying to learn to become the best programmer ever, sure. But if you're trying to make a game, then you're wasting your time and you're spending massive currency, which is your time, money, on stuff that is not gonna help you at all. If you know how to parse a PNG file, you are not going to make a better game because the game doesn't give a fuck about if it's a PNG file, a JPEG file, your mama, or something else. All the gamer wants is a good game. And so even if it takes you a day or 2 days to do that, you're still spending your time and energy on something that is not related to game development, and therefore you're not learning what it means to make a good game. And so that is a huge distinction that you need to learn when you're choosing what to do with your time when you're starting out. It is not wrong to do this. I'm not saying that, but it is definitely the wrong decision when you're wanting to make a game. And so that's what I think happened to me too much, is I went way too far down the handmade path. And I learned slowly over time that, great, now I have this knowledge. I understand maybe even a little bit about MP3 parsing and stuff like that. You guys remember that stream, these streams. We got really close to actually parse an MP3 file and decode it, which is like crazy. Like the math that goes into this. It's like we were reading papers and functions and whatever that math stuff. But you don't need that. And it is a complete and utter waste of your time. And let's say you have a family that's depending on you to, and you tell them, I'm going to make a game in whatever, a year or something, and you're spending your time on that, you're failing your family because you're literally wasting your time with this. And so it is really important to make a distinction what you're doing with your time. And I think the number one lesson that every developer, when they go into this route, that they need to learn is, what should you spend your time on and what not? Should you really spend the time learning how to open up a window, or should you maybe delegate that to GLFW or SDL3 or Raylib? Is talking as like a C++ programmer who's made a game in C++. Obviously, when you use Unity, you don't have that distinction. And so that is really important to do. And so otherwise, I love the feedback, not the content, the advice that Handmade Hero and Jonathan Blow gave. But this is what can happen to you when you watch these two, because you get the impression that all of the systems out there are bad and you shouldn't use them, and you could do something better yourself. You can. But Schedule 1 was made in Unity. And Balatro was written in Lua. And Lethal Company was made by a Roblox developer. And these guys are out of the stratosphere. Not even close. And so it is... Yeah, anyways, let's not ramble too much on this, but it is something that you gotta learn. And it's not bad to do this, but you're not gonna learn how to make a game. Which is oftentimes what you want to do.
Backwards.
You want to earn money, right?
Come up with the game design. Then that tells you what tech that you actually need in order to make the game. You don't go out and like make an engine.
We're gonna speedrun the video now, yeah.
So yeah, that's what this is. It's all just code for kind of making a game with
it's a framework,
as little
right?
friction and as little structure as possible. Specifically 2D pixel art games, which, you know, I'm going to go into that in a little bit. But before we do that, let's dive into a bit about the language that I'm using here, because in the past, I've used C++, C, even Jonathan Blow's JBeta, if you're familiar with that. But these days, I'm using Odin. That's kind of what I landed on for my daily.
So, okay, I'll stop pausing. Just one more nitbit, like a tiny bit, okay? So, like Jonathan Blow said, I don't want to go into drama though, because that will be like 10 years of like talking. I find it interesting that he switched from J to Odin, and there's also the sentiment out there that the Odin developer, Mr. Gingerbill, who's been in chat here, big giga chat, by the way, helped out a lot. They're very similar. Took a lot of inspiration from J. He got inspired by J videos, yeah. So I don't think it's a big problem at all. And I also like Odin a lot. And unfortunately, J is just not done yet. So yeah, I can see why he's using Odin, because J lacks a lot of features still.
Driver. I'm not going to go into the specifics.
Odin
of,
is great.
You know,
I love
pros
it.
and cons versus all the other languages, and like why I landed on this decision.
I like it the most.
It'll take way too long
out of all of these.
But
Zik
all
sucks.
you need to know is that it's what I'm using right now for gamedev, because I think it's the best. Without further ado, let's jump into the blueprint and what is actually inside here. In terms of the actual graphics in here, what this looks like from a high level perspective as gameplay programmers, all we need to do, draw up a sprite in a Sprite, okay? hit a button that runs an export script. Then in code, all we do is just call like draw sprite of the thing that we just exported, and that's pretty much it.
No. You didn't explain that well at all. So what do you mean export? What do I export from GIMP, from Paint, from Sprite? Where do I export and how do I export? You don't show that at all, man. See, like you're showing Sprite, but you're not showing what you're exporting. He said Sprite? Okay, he said Sprite, but how am I exporting it?
How am I exporting it? Yes, multiple export options. Okay, you giga clowns in chat. You absolute goobers don't even know how to do it yourself.
Okay, look. Just export it. Oh, just export it, bro. As a PNG file? Okay, and then what? Okay, and then what?
Hit a button that runs an export script.
Hit a button that runs an export script. Okay, what then?
And in code, all we do is just call like draw sprite of the thing that we just exported.
You just hit a button, bro. Okay, you're gonna explain that better, man. You're not selling yourself very well. Okay, I don't know what to do. The steps required to reproduce are not export script. What do you mean export script? There is no export script here, bro. It's literally just a PNG file. What do you mean, JSON data? Layout? Sprites? Borders?
There is no export script.
He made his own. So then he should say that. Okay, I see. Okay, so Mr. Randy made his own export script, but I guess people like me don't understand that because it doesn't. Okay, yeah, I'm not natively English, okay? The export script is only $99.99. Okay, yeah, that's good. I mean, large sword export script. Yes. I know that this is just an enum name. I know that. And I wonder how it's imported.
And that's pretty much it. It's right there.
That's not it!
Ready to go. The time between like changing a sprite or adjusting the animation and actually seeing it in the context of the game is like just a couple seconds.
You should show that, man. Because I agree with him. Yeah, no, I agree with him because this is great. If I go into a sprite and I make an explosion animation, right? Which I did off stream over the weekend. I made, I think it was this one here. Now it's literally just the other one scaled down. Okay, I was a bit lazy, but I made this. And then I just have this in my own copy, right? And then 30. I made that sprite too. Why are you pasting that, bro? Copy. You copy that, you export it, use the script. Then what? Does it build the enum itself too? Like he should have shown the process.
It's beautiful. So
no, like Randy's exporter is exporting a sprite into a file, and then I think what Randy's importer is doing, or the framework, the blueprint, is that it's importing it into its own texture atlas. It's packing it themselves, which is what it should do. So what I thought a long time ago when I built my first game, my first version of the engine, I wanted to have a system where I make a sprite like this. Then let's say I have this wizard here. I export the PNG file. What the hell? Here. I export the PNG file. And then I just drag and drop the PNG file onto my game. And it imports it automatically and I can use it in code. That's what I wanted to have. That basically exactly like in Unity or Unreal Engine. The Sprite export Lua file. This is the file here, let's see. Okay, so path, it puts it into images. Export path. Yeah, okay, you would have to adjust that path if you wanted to be in a... I would put it into pictures or sprites, but okay, yeah, that's fine. So it's just export though. Horizontal... But how does the... I guess it knows how many frames it has, right? Cool. Interesting. And then it... Does it also understand tags? Like, for example, what you can do in Sprite is the following. Let's open an animation that I made a long time ago. Let's see here. Animation skeleton. So, for example, I have this loop here and you can rename this actually to, I don't know, idle. Which I don't think it's idle. It's actually def animation, right? Yeah, so basically this is def. Does it also do the names here? So we have the def. dev animation, and then over here I think is... This would be F3, F2. This would be attack. So I wonder if the script is smart enough to identify these. And then how would it name these two? If I name the file skeleton, would it then append attack and dev? That would be amazing if that was true. And then I could just import that. We're gonna have to take a look at this. And maybe, you know,
we can yoink a little bit.
Or it's in animation. It will export all animation tags to res images. Tag name. You think it's these tags. Write your own script? Yeah, I mean, we can use this as a base. I've never done like a script like that. They're not hard to write. Yeah, I bet they are not. I mean, it's not much code, but you gotta have like a starting point somewhere. Cool. Very nice. That's very interesting. But he's not talking about how it's imported though. Like, do you have to add in the enum yourself, say file name to enum? And so now you have skeleton attack, dev, and idle as files, 3 files. And now you have to say, oh, build me the enum, skeleton, attack, idle, and dev. Data format, Sprite sheet, JSON array, that's how it's being imported.
That helps me get like way more improvement cycles in, which ultimately leads to the art looking better because...
Basically, he reads the output JSON. And then, yeah, but see, like, you gotta understand, right? Let's say my game is running and I'm actively programming the game and I happen to make changes to my skeleton animation in Sprite right now. Where is it? Here. I just happen to make changes to this. I'm like, okay, save, export it to the skeleton sprite export. Now, the engine, while it's running, reads the script, imports it into the engine, and then what? Because it kind of needs to build, even in Odin, we have done in Odin, it needs to build somewhat of an enum. Let me find the skeleton. Yeah, skeleton attack, run, or dev. It kind of needs to build this in a way so that you can access this, right? There needs to be a connection between code name and file name, or some sort of ID if it's packed into an atlas. And that code needs to be generated and compiled so that the game can read it. Is what I'm trying to say here. So there's more. He patches the enum not at runtime. So what you mean is you can do it multiple ways. You don't have to use enums. Yeah, but you do need some sort of ID. You need to have an identifier that knows this animation is this thing, so I could talk with this thing in the game. Like hashing names to get IDs. Yeah, for example. Yeah. You could get... It could be just accessed via a keyword. If everything's data-driven, yeah. So the reason why I find this so interesting, by the way, and I talk about it so much, is because that is exactly what I would want to do in the future, because I have been building this. And let me tell you, writing down every single animation and every single size and offset and blah and blah is so annoying. It is so annoying. I'm telling you guys, so that is ridiculous amounts of work, and you want to change something, it's impossible, bro. So yeah, I do the same.
It's just low friction to like experiment and just have fun drawing stuff. And that's really cool. I want to go in depth into like everything that's going on behind the scenes here. If you want, you know, you can just go read the source code to see how it's working. One of the biggest hurdles I think for like no engine game dev is that to get started, you kind of need to go out and learn graphics programming. You have the dreaded hello world triangle. Or, you know, if you don't want to do that, you can use the existing framework. But then doing that kind of kneecaps what you're able to pull off long term. The moment you need to actually do...
Are you sure though? Are you 100... Wait, am I muted? I'm not muted, you're banned. Goodbye. Like these guys just keep lying.
Do anything a little bit more complicated when it comes to rendering, you need to have a way to write your own graphics.
I don't think so. I think you can do mostly everything in Raylib. Let's say you're making a 2D game. What do you need? You need a way to draw quads. You need a way to draw transparent quads. And you need a way to apply lighting on top of this image. And that's all. You can do all of that in Raylib. You don't need to have, let's say, OpenGL, like your own renderer for this. Post-process, yeah, that is the... Post-process would be lighting, for example. Exactly. He's looking into my soul.
Pipeline and actually do the rendering yourself. So it's a bit of a hairy problem. The way I've solved this is, I've actually gone in and written up a simple 2D sprite renderer.
Randy encountered something that was not possible. I forgot the details. So, however, he doesn't. That doesn't mean you could not do it with STL or so cool. Yeah, already. Yeah. I think for the majority of games, when you're literally just talking about drawing sprites, applying lighting, and having some transparency in the game, you can do most of it like that. And then some post-processing like Bloom could be added in. I don't know if they natively support that. Probably not. I don't know. Does Raylib support Bloom? And obviously, yeah, font. I mean, they already do font, right? So
it renders everything in one draw call. If you don't know what any of this is, by the way, I wouldn't worry about it. That's actually the main benefit of this, is that we don't need to worry about how any of this works. We can just call the draw sprite, and that's like kind of it at the end of the day. But when you do need to like go in and, say add something in because the game that you're trying to make needs this very specific graphics thing, that's when you can dive in, do the learn OpenGL.com, figure out exactly what is happening here. That way, long term, you just know
so
graphics
it's OpenGL.
Exactly.
What about cross-platform compatibility
then?
Isn't
really needed right out of the gate. Honestly, the system that I've got right here is capable.
What about cross-platform though?
Of making all 3 games that I made in the past. There's no fancy extra graphics step happening here. It's just we're drawing sprites more or less. The cool thing here is that we've got the shader right here that we can edit. So, you can learn a little bit.
Oh my. Oh wow. I think, interesting. Bytes.x times 255 text index. Holy, what is that? Normalize device coordinates to world. Background repeat. That looks like some 5-hat stuff, bro. Bro, how did you become so 5-hat? Huh? Flag 1, flag 3? Money? Flag?
About how the shaders work, and that's kind of all you need to do. There's the pixel shader here, and that just operates on all the pixels. So you can do specific effects like lighting, swapping in some kind of repeating texture, overriding things to be specific color.
Ooh, but that's inefficient. Yeah, we encountered that. If you want to do lighting here, that is really inefficient. We actually dropped down to... How much did we drop down to, guys? A lot. We had to improve that system. Because when you're making a big game and you apply lighting to every single draw call, that is a lot of computational power because you have so much overdraw.
I did a Minecraft style cracks texture animation thing the other day for breaking something. That was really cool.
Can you say why it's inefficient? Because of overdraw. I'll show you. AQ, I can show this, right? Let me see. Not everything, but I'll show you. Essentially what it's doing is it is computing the light color on every draw call that you do. So when... Let me find that overdraw. Man, I sent you a lot of stuff. Holy, I'm spamming this guy. I'm so sorry, bro. There it is. So this is the image of overdraw. Basically what happens is every sprite that you draw has some form, and it's not only for triangles but also for quads, has something else that might be in front of it. And when you're doing lighting, let's say you put a light source in the middle. Let's actually take this image here and put it into Photopea. And like this. There we go. So let's say we have this image and we want to put a light source right here in the middle. And let's make it nice and yellow, maybe bright. And obviously, we want to give it a somewhat of a gradient so it doesn't look, I don't know. So this would be a light source, and now you could say, okay, well, it multiplies it or color burn. It depends, right? We also have some lighting, soft light functions here that this creates light. Now, what you would usually have is ambient light. So you would take this entire image, darken it in somewhat of a darker color. Maybe you give it a blue tint. So it would be something like, let's say this is a night sky. Wait, oh, it's very laggy. Holy. Give me a sec here. Like that. And usually the simplest thing is multiplying it. You can see here that when I adjust the opacity, it gets darker and darker. And now light usually operates on stamping. How do you say that? It's difficult to say that as a non-English person. It's removing, masking. Yeah, it's masking out the spot where the light is, and it, let's say, adds in place a spot with color. So let's say you want to have somewhat of a yellow light, like that. Now you have a yellow light in this position. And the thing is, this is an entire image drawn on top of your game world, essentially. But the GPU, when you're doing a draw call for this triangle, what it does is it actually computes the brightness of the light for every single pixel that is inside this triangle. And it does that for these red parts of the triangle too, where the overdraw happens. And usually you have a lot of overdraw in these games, and therefore it computes it so many more times than necessary. And the more lights you have, the more computational power it takes to compute the brightness of the light. So for example, if I have another one here, and another one here, and another one here, and another one here, it all computes all of these lights for this one triangle, and it wastes time essentially here. This is where it wastes the time. And here too, and here too. And so that can get very expensive, especially the more lights you have. It's exponential with the number of lights that you put in your scene. And so that's what can get slow, but it doesn't have to be slow. Just something to keep in mind. It's computing the light for the overlap, yeah. And so what most people do here is they just compute this texture once. Right? Can we even screen? Yeah, they compute this texture once, and then they overlay that on top of the game. Yeah, I know, we need to speedrun this. Okay, let's make this a bit faster, okay? Playtime speed 1.5, maybe?
So all that can be done with just the simple pixel shader that we have here. So yeah, there's a lot you can do here. I wish I had this one starting out ages ago, because it would have let me kind of just skip straight to programming the game. And I wouldn't have rabbit holed as much on learning some of the graphics programming stuff. But at the end of the day, we're here. Sometimes rabbit holes are good. So this next part, if you understand this, you'll be able to create sound effects and soundscapes that add just a shitload of visceral feel to the game. Now, sound design is extremely important. I slept on this for like a long time. Don't make that same mistake. Get into it ASAP. It ends up being...
You can only learn so much, though. I agree with him that you should not sleep on sound design, and it should be one of the first things you do. But hey, man, you're already trying to learn how to make a game. You can only learn so much, bro. And then you have to learn these tools to make sounds, and then you're trying to look for sounds, and they all sound bad. We've all gone through this, bro. I think it's just a natural evolution or process. You try to put in sounds in your game. It's not excuses. It's a learning process, man.
Something like 50% of game feel. Listen to this without sound.
Sucks, yeah. With sound.
Damn, it's not a state, right? We have two.
Can I get the sound effect for your sword swing, please? Please? Come on. I'm looking for sound effects.
Senses when we're playing a game. We have our visual and we have our auditory, right?
Yeah.
It's half of the feel, but it gets completely ignored. Like if you look at Steam review of the game, you aren't going to see like people saying, oh yeah, bro, this sound design is banger. It's just one of those things that kind of just sits in the background, but you notice it when it's wrong, right? So it makes sense to have a workflow that
need to have
makes creating new sounds and like doing the sound design as easy and frictionless as possible, you know, just like the art. So what I've landed on for this is using Fmod. In the past, I tried, you know, making my own sound playback system from scratch and all this shit, but it ends up being way worse.
We started with direct sound. That's when we had to fill in a sound buffer with our own sound data. And then when we wanted to mix sounds, we would add the sound samples. So a sound sample is an integer value that is between minus 16,000 and plus 16,000, a short, essentially. A short! And when you want to add two sounds together, you take that value and you add the other value on top. Now, the problem is, since you have an upper and a lower bound of 16,000, what can happen is when you're sitting at 15,000 and you're adding 16,000 on top, you're overflowing. Therefore, you're distorting the sound. What you need to do then is you need to build a bell curve at the upper portion to make sure that you never reach the 16,000 mark, you never go above this, but you also need to make sure that the sounds are added together properly. And it's so much of a headache. Like, why do you even spend time doing that when you should just be making a game and looking for good sound effects to play, and maybe not play too many sound effects so the player doesn't get blasted by your terrible sounds? It's so much work. So that's how I started, by the way. Direct sound, ladies and gentlemen, was amazing. Not. I'm happy I don't do that anymore.
Because great sound design, like
hence just use Raylib, or I don't know about Godot, man, but Raylib,
just how many iterations you can get in. An iteration being like you make something, you hear something in the context of the game and get feedback on it, and then make a tweak and then do it again, right? That's like an iteration. So the more times you can do that cycle, the better the sound ends up sounding.
Yeah.
Right? So yeah, Fmod is great for just like really, really quickly getting stuff sounding good. You know, you just like sit there spamming spacebar over and over again and like hear it. You know, you can hear how it gets spatialized in the world if you're doing that. I basically just made some kind of...
Man, see, that's Fmod? G9 FS Pro Event Editor. So what is this? I want to use that too. That sounds awesome. Wait, I'm on Randy's lab?
You can hear how it gets spatialized in the world if you're doing that.
Really?
I basically just made some kind of wrappers and helpers on top of Fmod.
Oh, he switches between left and right. Oh, I'm so sorry. I get it now. Oops. This Fmod, it's $100. Yeah, that's a lot of money, man. Oof. That's a lot of money. Okay, I'll move to the left here. Okay, let me flip. Hello. When he moves to the other side, I'll try to move myself
better, you know, just hiding all the ugly API behind the scenes. The entire workflow looks like make an event in the editor, hit the build hotkey, play it with a single function. There you go. You got sound.
Oh, I see. So you're playing. Oh, I like that a lot. That's so much easier than in Raylib. Because you basically, it's the sound editor is built into the engine and therefore the iteration is just so much faster. What I need to do is I need to build the sound in DaVinci, then export the sound. But unfortunately, DaVinci doesn't export correctly. So now I open up Audacity. In Audacity, I change it to the proper type and data. Then I export it there too. I click cross. Yes, I don't want to save. And then I load in the file. It's so much friction. I look weird on the left. Yeah, I know it's weird. Let me go back. Because please don't go back, Randy. Okay, sir. Damn, it looks good.
Yeah, that's pretty much the gist of the sound, really. The only downside here is that Fmod has some pretty hefty licensing terms. You know, you got to put a splash logo on startup, but honestly, worth it. Like the amount of...
I don't really care about that. Like, you can put it together with some other logos too.
Creative expression you get from this, and the more iterations you can get in on the sound leads to everything feeling way, way better. And I think it's worth the price, personally. Last but not least, we got the third kind of big main system that I use on a daily basis, which is the entity system. Now, this is the thing that kind of just connects everything together and like allows us to actually make the game. If you understand how to use this, you'll be able to throw stuff into the game really, really quickly, and it'll feel almost as frictionless and high level as something like a Unity or Godot script.
I don't like that a lot. I can agree with the other stuff, but with the entity system, just let me build my own system. You can replace Audacity with FFmpeg for the last part. Yeah, I can, yeah. I see. Yeah, we'll have to improve the design, for sure.
You know how you got the little script
for the
and
next
like
game,
to the object, and you're just kind of writing it out, and like that's how you program the entity kind of gameplay. Over the years, I've actually pretty much converged on that exact design when it comes to entities, because it's just it's Godot, right? So instead of falling into the trap of like making this massive, complicated entity component system, what I like to do is
I would just create an entity structure for enemies and an entity, or sorry, a structure for enemies, a structure for heroes, a structure for whatever I need, and I'm done. Big struct, and that's it. Yeah, I don't need a system for that at all.
Keep it dead simple. There's a single structure for the entity, gets used for all of them. We got an enum for each kind of entity, and then we just have a big array, and that's it. You just kind of create an entity.
Nah. They see, like this type of stuff, let me build that myself. But hey, the rest of the stuff I like.
We have a setup function here, which actually defines like the behavior of the entity and like everything that we do with it. That's kind of it. As a little example, when I'm programming here, I'm sitting in the setup function, and this is kind of that script example I was talking about earlier. It's like all in the one spot here. This is how we program the entire logic for the entity. We give it a bunch of like constant data if it needs it, and then there's the update and render procs inside here. Procs like functions that you call, right? And that's how you just do the actual logic for them, and it works really well. As an example for like,
what about maybe he's built it in? What about a fixed time step loop though? For some games you need that. So like if I build an RTS game, I would want to have a fixed time step loop.
Let's say we're programming a slime and I'm trying to get it to jump, and I want like some kind of timer on whenever it jumps. I would take that piece of state, just add it to the entity. There we go. I could just use it from
okay, so how do you do trees? Do you just draw trees?
There, and I'm good to go, right? On paper, this kind of seems a little bit wasteful because we're just using one entity struct and we're just dumping all of this state into it. You know, a slime will have this slime jump timer, but like, is that going to get used by like a goblin over here? No, it's completely fucking useless, right? It seems wasteful, and that's because it kind of is, but you'd be surprised how little this matters.
It does not matter much.
Like one, we're really low level. So in general, when we're programming, we're like literally one step away from the actual CPU instructions that get generated and like fed into the CPU. So there's very little waste that is happening. So by default, whatever you program is going to get optimized really well and be really fast. So that's kind of number one. Number two is the game state is very data oriented. Like this entire entity array, it's just a single array. So everything's very kind of back to back in memory. So that means the CPU cache is going to be happy chappy and things are going to be pretty fast. You know, I said like data oriented. That's a very loaded term. It can mean whatever you want it to mean. In this case, it's just we have all these entities.
Oh, Janet, sorry, I missed that. Thank you very much for the raid. Hope you had a good stream. Welcome, everybody. Good morning, you guys. Hope you had a good stream and a good day. We're currently watching Mr. Randy, who's been making games for, I think, 300 clowns. For 10 years, I think, he's been making games or something like that, okay? And so now at the end of the journey, after he's been released 3 games, and you know, I will read the comments, guys. Yes. First, we're watching the video. Okay? Thank you very much for the raid. Welcome, everybody. Yeah, he's been making games for 10 years, and he struggled because he didn't use something like Unity, Unreal Engine, GameMaker, Godot. He didn't use these because maybe he didn't like them, like me. There are people like that out there. And so he's been talking about what he's learned over the years and what he's now built to help him make games in the future. Because when you build something yourself, you obviously want to reuse that for the future because you don't build it again. Or you build something, it sucked, you improved it, and then you learn something from it to make it better for the next game. And I think that's great. What he's talked about so far is the sound system and the graphics system, which allows you to export and import sprites from a sprite directly into animations in your game, and you can just draw the sprite, which I like a lot. And then the sound design, you build a sound in Fmod in your own editor, and the sound is called jump, and then you just play the jump sound in your engine or in your piece of code, which is also just really fast. Iterating on the sound right there, and then boom, playing it in the engine immediately. And maybe even while the game's running. I don't know about hot code reloading, but that's great.
Kind of pack back to
the entity system I don't like so much.
Back, and usually we're just looping over them and doing like bulk operations on things.
Currently talking about entities.
Kind of together. Now the thing with this is that the specifics of this entire system can change depending on the game you're trying to make. This is more or less how I start off every game, and I'll just add complexity as I need it. Like if I've got a problem I need to solve, like, you know, I'm seeing a performance issue somewhere, or
making your own engine
by memory, then I will try and figure out the solution to the problem. But I'm not trying to figure out the solution to the problem before I even have the fucking problem. So yeah, that's why I have this big structure. It's called the mega struct, coined by Ryan Fleury. I learned from him back in the day. Man, I was literally sitting there writing an ECS, and he pulled me aside and he was like, bro.
People, when you're waiting for people are like, oh, like, you know, don't waste memory, or like, don't do like, and I'm just saying, like, after having programmed for like a long time, I'm like looking at my computer and I'm like, this thing is absurdly fast and it can do a billion things. People can write software rasterizers that render like a billion pixels. I don't know if it's actually talking about a million pixels, like in 1/60th of a second. And I'm sitting here like making sure my entities are like these tight little things. And I'm like, that doesn't need to happen. Like, that's just, you know, you can just do the pig thing and just like put it.
Holy, did he speed that up too? Like, are we looking at twice the speed now? What the hell's going on? He's so fast. It's like a rap god. God damn.
And I've been doing that ever since, and it's been absolutely amazing. So TLDR, keep it simple, solve actual problems that arise, not imaginary ones. We can break stuff out later on and optimize it later on if we want. It's just that we're opting into the extra complexity. By default, we're operating in a way that's like, again, really easy to just stay in gameplay programming mode, add in some state, get back to doing what we're doing. You know, we just have a big old sloppy state dump that we can throw shit into in the heat of the moment, which less friction leads to more iterations happening on the gameplay. More iterations, better game. It's the exact same with the other two systems. And I'm convinced at this point that this is literally how you get fast and better at everything. Is you just need to close that feedback cycle as soon as possible. By the way, little pro extra tip. Same thing happens at like the massive kind of high level in terms of game design. You need to prototype all the systems and close out the loop as soon as possible and then give it to someone else to playtest and you can get feedback.
Yeah, that's actually true. The feedback part is what most people don't do. And that's the most important part. You need to have someone testing your game to tell you what you're doing wrong and what you're doing right. I also have a giant struct in C. Yeah, it's the best thing to do. I have a giant entity struct for enemies and heroes in my game, and that works very well as well. I'm thinking about splitting it up, but it also creates issues. So for example, what I like to do a lot in my game is get an entity by an ID. Let me see, get entity by ID. And this function can first look at the heroes and then look at the enemies. And it's really easy because it can return me an entity. And sometimes I'm targeting something that is not clear what it will be. So for example, I can target a friendly unit with a healing ability, but I can also target an enemy with an offensive ability like a lightning strike. Now, my target is just this ID, and then I can store enemies or heroes inside that ID and look them up like this, right? So it's just one function. Otherwise, I would have to worry about, the entities could be a hero or it could be an enemy. Let me find out what it is and then look at the different types of arrays and iterate over them, or the ID is an index, and usually I look up the index first if it's correct. If not, I need to loop. Anyways, that's beside the point. And so keeping it all in one struct does have its benefits a lot.
Back from that. That's one iteration. Game design literally does not start.
Wait, collector of stuff really needs a ban.
See the entire game. That's how you actually make it at the end of the day. But that's a video for another day. So yeah, all the gameplay programming is central to this one setup function. You can kind of think of it like the Unity or Godot script, right? And I did it this way because there's nothing worse than going through adding a new piece of content, like weapons or an enemy or your items, buildings, whatever it is for the design. You go to add that in, but then like you have to add it in at like 5 different fucking spots in the code base, and then you like miss a spot and you just get a runtime crash because you fucked up. Like there's nothing worse than having to think about where to go to add stuff in. You just kind of want to make it.
But you mean to tell me that if I add add a weapon into my game in your framework, by the way, then I would create an entity for the weapon, even though the weapon would just be, let's say, a sprite and a position? And an ID for the type of weapon? Okay.
As easy as possible, so that you can kind of like, if you're adding in a new enemy, for example, and you've already done an enemy, you can kind of just look at the other one as a reference and maybe copy paste it over as like a starting point. So yeah, it's all centralized, makes things like way easier as we kind of scale up later on. And yeah, the main thing about this entire entity system is that it's so incredibly flexible and gives us full power of being able to make these big, wide, sweeping generic systems,
Unity
like
works.
an item system.
Yeah, I know. Unity creates game objects, and then you use those game objects to do whatever you want. Like a weapon physically in the game is a game object, and then you can add components to it, rigid body, whatever you want to put on it, right?
Just have it by default shared across all the entities because it is literally just one entity structure, right? So you can kind of have the dream almost of like this like ECS architecture. Let's say for the physics system, for example, I would just add a does physics flag, and then we have the pause, velocity, acceleration, the collision box, all this kind of stuff on the entity. Now I've written that once, it applies to all the entities. It's just right there.
Yeah, I don't like that too much. I mean, you can change it though. But for a prototype, okay.
Extremely flexible, makes making the game really easy because you can make these, really nice systems like that. And shit just works. It's very fun. At the end of the day, all this is an effort to make adding in new content as easy as possible because, once you've kind of got the game design in,
Aldi Unity, yeah, inferior Unity.
Becomes a matter of just adding in new content.
Why do you dislike it? Well, I'll show you why. So, for example, I have this, let's see, draw busy. I really hate that, I'm searching for something, Draw Bezier curve. And it's actually there, but when I search it with the Vim motions, I can't find it! So essentially I have made a function that is called draw Bezier path, and that makes a projectile follow some sort of Bezier curve type motion. And in game it looks like this. Let me get the mage here. I need to set the hero level. Actually, sorry. 2.5, let's say that. And here, this is the one of those abilities that uses that. And this is what it looks like. If I slow it down, it follows, I mean, yeah, let me replay it. It follows this motion. It's a little bit easier to see when it's sideways. Does he have it on cooldown in a second? Yeah. Here we go. It follows this motion up like that, and it basically does not have a collider at all. It just returns when it's at about 90% of the flight path. And so at about 90% it like collides with the world, deals AoE damage, and that is a very specific, let's say, physics type system that you would have to program yourself. And so now if I were to use an entity, I would have that physics system that just doesn't do anything. Or like if I couldn't build it that way because the physics system doesn't allow me to do that. But again, you can extend it. So I changed my mind on it because you're not locked in with this. You can change it, so that's
design
good.
So that the players can play more of the game. So it makes sense that adding in content easier leads to making more content, which leads to more game to play. Happier players, big win. This is overall, the best system I've found for making gameplay programming as easy as possible.
I'm gonna read the
like
comments.
Really low level, but things still feel extremely high level.
Sweet,
easy to make game. Now, obviously, there's way more to this to actually make a game, and I'll try and cover more about that with my content coming up. But in the meantime, if you would like to,
no, I like it a lot. So, like, before we read the comments and close out the video, I do want to say one thing. Okay. For those people who are mean-spirited and, already thinking about writing their toxic message in chat or, in the comments. This guy has released one game on Steam, might not have been that successful, but he's put out 3 games on Steam. Now, type 1 in chat, okay? If you have put out a game on Steam and actually press the release button. Yeah, I know that this Who Am I and Shell11 did. Rico, yeah, where's your game? So those people that can't type number 1 but try to tell him what he should be talking about or what type of advice he should give or that he should not give any advice, your opinion doesn't matter. Because you don't know. I put my game, you put your game on Steam, I know Firefly. You didn't sell it yet, yeah, but putting a game on Steam and putting out a demo on Steam is already very close to releasing your game. And so you cannot consider it releasing a game on Steam, but hey guys, I can spend a month making a terrible game, put it out on Steam and press the release button too. Okay, so like it's not only about making some terrible games, but how many of you have actually done that? Before you criticize someone who's been doing this for a long time, you guys, you need to think about it like this. Everyone has some nuggets of information that is valuable when they do something for a long time. You might not agree with everything they say, and you shouldn't. But every single person who comes from a genuine place of trying to help others will have maybe 1 or 2 or 3, maybe more things they can teach you, even if they are not the Stardew Valley developer or the Animalware developer, the guy that made Balatro. Everyone has some knowledge to share. But that's not to say that you should take everything they say for granted, of course not. But to say that everything they say is invalid because they didn't make Stardew Valley is also completely dumb. Okay, before you go and this guy sucks, he doesn't know what he's talking about, now he wants to sell me his course on making games for $600. Fuck you, man, you suck. Excuse me. I didn't even know how many games released I've worked on, probably 10-ish. Damn, that's a lot of... Okay, so what's your game, Mr. Rico? Trailer for your game. You are banned. You're trying to rickroll me. That's not gonna happen. I'm gonna ban you for 10 minutes. And I'm gonna play the ban sound. Goodbye, man. Thank you very much. So you did not release any games. I thought so!
Get personal help from me to use this blueprint to make whatever game idea you want. I'm basically running a mentorship program where I just walk you through every step of the process. I've helped a bunch of guys out so far. Yeah, check out the link down in the description and we can work together. But anyway, hopefully this blueprint makes it easier and increases the odds of you actually making a game. Because it has for me, only after, you know, investing the 5 years and learning how to get here. But
everyone has knowledge to share except Cakez. Okay, for Poseidon, you're gone to. This guy on YouTube wants to get banned. Like, this guy's been... How do I ban you? Okay, so... Put user in timeout. 10 minutes. Goodbye. Now, I don't have a boom sound for you. Let me try to find one. Maybe I banned one earlier. Oh, timeout collector. Yeah. Boom! Get out of here, bro! Look how happy he is.
Hopefully all this time skips a little bit of that.
Goodbye, man.
Regardless, making a game without an engine is still going to be fucking hard. But we do it not because it is easy, but because it is difficult.
No. That's not true. We do it because we like it, man. Not because it's difficult, because we like it. We do it because we love it. I don't know about you guys, but I like programming in C++. How many of you guys like programming in Odin, C++ or whatever? I like it. It's not masochism, no. I don't want to make it harder on myself. I just like it. Can you not like it? Anything, really. Like, for me, it's about enjoying the process. I like pressing the release button, Cakez. Yeah. I know. Though your second game took longer than the first. Took a long time to press that release button on that game, huh? Huh? Skill issue? C++. C is fun, C++ not so much. Now, you can use C++ without all of the C++ features that make it unfun. I love C, but C++... Yeah, many people say that. But you guys don't have to use the C++ features. Anyways, cool video. Like, I don't know why people are so mad about this. Maybe it's because he's trying to sell a course or sell you advice now for money after he didn't really, let's say, prove that he is able to make a very successful game. I can get behind that, why people are roasting him for that. But it's not about selling a course on game development. It's more about selling how to use his blueprint. Though I can totally understand that some people, that rubs some people the wrong way. Yeah. But before we read the comments, okay, like it's gonna be negative, I know. If you want to support him, watch the video again on 1% volume so that it is not muted, but 1%, something like that. Play it again and help support him by watching it on another tab, doing something else if you've watched this from this video, because you help him the most with this. If you give him the full watch time uninterrupted at whatever speed, you help him a lot. And so I think you should do that when you're coming from this video and you have some time to spare. You don't need to engage with it, just leave it running, do something else. That's the best thing to do. And obviously, you know, like the video too, if you liked it. Okay, let's read the comments. But if you're also curious, over the years I've had all kinds of reasons to and justifications for not using an engine, which I would tell myself. Nowadays, it's simply because I enjoy programming. True, yeah, me too. Yeah, enough to get by making 2D games in an environment I enjoy. I just open up some spots in my mentorship program. We're gonna run out. I see, okay, yeah. Randy GG. Okay, let's see. No engine game blueprint. Looks inside. Game engine. No game engine blueprint. Looks inside. Game engine. So what he's... Wait, what he's saying is... I have no engine game blueprint, but it's actually a game engine? Exactly. That's all a game engine is. A set of tools to help you build a game without starting from scratch. If being open source and editable makes it something not a game engine, then Godot is also not a game engine. Then Godot is also... No. Like, the difference here is that you're still primarily interfacing with it through code. You're not interfacing with it through an editor that acts as a barrier to edit the code directly. You're directly working with the code. That's what it is. Guys, I think I outdid myself with this thumbnail. It's a banger thumbnail, I gotta say. So your engine is not a game engine? I have a framework for making games that is not that great. That's how I would call it. So it's a framework, guys. This is not a game engine, this is a framework. A set of tools to help you make games, a set of functions without a UI interface that you can also change if you want to. And so what I like about his system is though that you will most likely be able to edit this directly yourself and hopefully in an easy way. I followed you for 5 years and thought you gave up. Okay, like I don't see the negative problems, the comments here. He never gave up. He just, like, everyone struggles. Randy, you are peak game developer rage bait. What? Why? Bro is a natural born comedian for a reason. What the hell? Thanks for showing your game engine. Explains how to make games without an engine. Doesn't make games. Ooh. You're wrong though. 1, 2, 3. How many games, Mr. Nats, okay, do you have on Steam? Let me see here. Okay, let's inspect this random YouTube chatter. Aha, Twitch TV, okay. Where are your games? Twitter? No games? I thought so. What are your videos about? Wind landscape. Okay, so you're playing games rather than making them. Okay. See, this is the type of stuff that you can hear from other game developers too. 12 replies. Lee Mao. He literally showed the games he's worked on in the video. Yeah, true. So this guy's wrong. I'm not gonna downvote him, it's toxic. Randy, I don't know it, but the reaffirmation to stop overcomplicating things to solve issues I don't have was exactly what I needed to push past my programmer's block. Thank you, sweet, bald Australian man. Bro basically made an engine, tells you not to make an engine, spends years making a framework engine and calls it a blueprint. True. It's a framework! I told you before! Tells you to use the blueprint instead of an engine. Question mark. Profit? Memberships, yeah. System to make games without an engine. Makes an engine, makes no game. He's providing a pre-packaged solution with several systems to use for building games. Wait, guys, that is a framework. Don't you understand the difference between a framework and an engine? Like, do you really need a book to teach you that? A framework is a set of functions that aid you at making a game. An engine usually has... I think my wife just came home. I'm back. He didn't wash the dishes. No, thankfully, that's not it. Okay, back. Check it. Mentorship. Sure, I'll check that in a sec. Cakez framework is an engine because its high-level editor has a GUI. No. If he said he was selling an engine, everyone would yell at him because it's not like Godot. Yeah. But guys, it's not really an engine. Usually people refer to an engine with an interface, UI interface. You're not operating on code alone. You're mostly operating through UI features. That is the big difference. So yes, you can call it somewhat of an engine, but the big difference is that Unity, Godot, Unreal Engine, GameMaker, they all provide you a UI interface. Okay. What about Bevy? Bevy engine? I've never interfaced with that. Bevy engine. What is this? Is this just code? BevyEngine.org. Decryptor component struct player. Bevy is cool, yeah? Wasn't Bevy, wasn't a Rust? Yeah, it was Rust, right? Yeah, I don't know. I've not used that yet. Excuse me. I have a frame. Yeah, I do have a framework. That is correct. Okay, let's see. Randy is back spitting nonsense on the timeline instead of making any tangible projects a colleague student couldn't make in a game jam in a few days. Let's get it, boys. We are so back. This guy's just a toxic chatter, man. You gotta, you gotta ban this guy, okay? And give him a downvote. Maybe this time he will not take donations and work for 2 hours a week. Okay, bro. Okay, so I don't really see the negative comments. A man who's never finished a game. What you're talking about? I call this a finished game. Now, you can say that the game doesn't have much content, but hey, it's still a finished game, okay? How many games have you finished? 0, Mr. Dunker? Huh? I thought so. Of course. Hey, Zoe. Thank God our community is not as toxic as Randy's, yeah. True. What is this, Cakez? What did I do again? What did I do this time?
Oh, this guy sucks. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Now he wants to sell me his course on making a game for $600. Fuck you, man. You suck.
Okay, that's totally out of context, man. It's totally out of context. I like Randy. This is like a physics student who barely passed their bachelor's giving lessons on quantum mechanics. Yeah, he passed their bachelor's though. Did you pass your bachelor's? Mr. F, the random number guy on YouTube with probably no videos? Aha! Thought so. I actually thought this was lol boy lol. So again, no, a framework, you dummy. No, it's a framework. Bro, wanna make games without an engine? Use my engine. No. But I gotta be honest here. When I was first starting out learning game development, I wanted to learn how to make a game without an engine, and usually the only tutorials that I could find online were tutorials that were based on engines. If that makes sense. So learning C++, but use my engine as a starting point to draw pixels. And I'm like, yeah, bro, but that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for how can I make a game in C++. I don't want to use your crap because that's the same thing I have in Unity. I don't want to do that. Like, so I can understand that sentiment because people would want to learn what it is to, okay, how can I make a window? Okay, now I have a window. What do I do next? How do I draw this? Okay, I draw that. So anyways, the membership program, you guys linked that to me, right? What is this? Mentorship. Calendly. What is this? Calendly? Non-engine mentorship call. 60 minutes. Oh, $100. Damn, that's a lot. on the call will figure out where you're currently at and where you want to go. We'll then cook up a battle plan for getting you there. I can't guarantee that by the end of the call you'll be able to go off and finish a game in 2 minutes. No, you won't, but hopefully the end you will walk away with clarity on what to do next. You'll get guidance on making a game without an engine. Oh, I see, there's more. Wait, there's no scroll bar here. Oh, that's a bit odd. Weird. Concrete source code examples. We'll also just hang out like a couple. Like a couple of all-around children. Okay, I see. I was like a couple? What the hell? Start a Kickstarter to get Randy membership? No. Guys, I'm well beyond helping, okay? You can't help me. That is impossible. Make tiny games. Can this lady stop making so many good videos, please, man? Can you stop making so many good games? Like, I agree with you, lady. Juniper Dev. Anyways, I don't see the problem, man. Like, listen, if you wanna come at Randy for taking money for membership, mentorship programs, listen, man, it's you decide how you spend your money. If you want to spend $100 to talk to him, then spend $100 to talk to him, or don't. I don't really care, man. This guy has to live some way. Okay, he tried to make games in the past, didn't really work out that well. He still learned something, and he can share his knowledge, and if people want to hear it, that's fine. You know, it's at the end of the day, you are your own, whatever that's called. You make your own decisions. So yeah, anyways, let's move on. Let's work on our own game. I think I had something more. Oh yeah, we wanted to look for music. This is what we're gonna do next. Music. So, what I have in my game right now are 2 songs by Mr. Necropolis, and they are great. I love them. Both of them are nice. This is the song from Necropolis. Let me make it a bit louder. I think it fits the vibe very well. It's like a chill vibe. I like the guitar. The whatever that other instrument is. I like that a lot. And he's made 2 songs so far that I could even loop as well. This one has a loop in it. And then the other song is this one here. It's more of a chill song in the town. It's supposed to be somewhat of a relaxing place, which if it does not look that relaxing, that's my own fault, because I didn't draw that very well. But that's mostly the 2 songs I have from him, and we haven't figured out any legalities and what is it called, copyright stuff, and can I use the song and blah blah blah, right? We have to still write that down. But as an indie developer, oftentimes what we lack is money and resources, and we can't really afford to pay these big artists and paying them hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Exactly, Zoe. And so we need to find a way to maybe get songs, hopefully royalty free, that are not repeated too often. And also we don't want to run into the issue of someone taking these songs that are freely available online, uploading them to YouTube, and then copyright striking anyone that uses these songs in their videos. Because the #1 marketing tool that you have as an indie developer is asking other streamers and YouTubers to play your game. And you do that through email lists. We've covered this extensively. Basically, you build a long list of emails from streamers and content creators that would very likely play your game if it's good. And then you email them before launch or maybe before Steam Next Fest to play the game and create as much traction to it as possible. And when these YouTubers, especially YouTubers, make the videos and they notice that they get striked by copyright and they can't monetize the videos because of that, and all of the revenue is sent over to this random whatever Indian guy that is scamming everyone with the songs, then they are very likely to not make the videos, which in turn defeats the purpose of you advertising your game at all to them. So you need to have songs that are royalty free, well, let's not say royalty free, but that allow you to put them in your game and you don't have any issues with the YouTube copyright system. And so AQ actually found this. We have the Patreon here. We have, let me just upload all of, not upload, sorry. Open this up. All of this. YouTube. And then this image here. Can I open that too? Is it possible to open that in the browser? No? Nah, this sucks. Open image in a new tab. Ah, here it is. There we go. Okay, I think this is everything. Okay. So I've collected all of the links. Essentially, the way it started out is, for those of you who know the game called Ember Ward, that's an indie tower defense game on Steam. It's quite successful, has over 2,000 reviews, and they are very successful, let's say that, right? For an indie developer, very successful. I don't know how many worked on... Zoe just came next to me. Hello, Zoe! Yeah? Hello. And you can see here that they have impressive numbers for an indie team. And a tower defense game. And the idea of the game is that it's basically Tetris, and you can build towers on high ground, not on low ground, but on high ground. And you build a maze and make the enemies walk through the maze. Yeah, anyways, and they are using songs from this creator in their game. And the cool thing is, listen to this. The music is by Alexandra Nakarada, sorry. He creates amazing royalty-free music and is a savior for indie developers working on a tight budget. So I thought today would be a great day. Why not just look through this? Maybe we find some banger songs. But we also need to take a look at how can we acquire them? There's multiple ways to do that. And which one is the best way and how much does it cost? Zoe! Abuchi. Is she walking? Almost. She's almost walking. Zoe needs some screen time. Hello, Zoe. Hello. Is she walking? Almost walking. Lol, you sound like Homer Simpson saying Zoe that way, really? And guys, thank you very much for following Disco or Dix? Two Dicks? What is this? Two Dicks? Lapo and Neon. Thank you guys. And Zeta and Azrael, thank you guys as well. Zoe, das meinst du trinken? Ah, bitte. Willst du die Flasche haben? Willst du was trinken? Die Flasche ist zu groß, Zoe. Lecker. No, I'm still here. First time chatter. 2 days left to chat. Willst du noch mehr? Okay, hier. Wait a minute, guys. Kein Problem. Ich bin durch YouTube auf dich gestoßen. Oh, cool. That's awesome, bro. Bist du fertig? So weird, ne? Okay, I'm back. What do you think about using AI in games like models or texture? I think if you want to use it, see, like I think I have an unpopular opinion on that, because I'm an artist and at the same time, I'm also, why do I not hear any music? Give me a sec, though. Oh, it just stopped. Weird. Okay, sorry, let me repeat that. What do you think about using AI or models in your game? I think, even though I am an artist myself, I always have been, always will be, I think it's totally fine as long as you don't tell people. That's how I see it. Now, I'm gonna be completely honest with you, I have not used any AI, but as long as you don't tell people and they can't tell the difference, totally fine. 'Cause I see AI as a tool, and people, even indie developers, will use it in the future. And if they are 10 times faster than you because they are using this tool and you are handcrafting things and you're falling behind, maybe you're even running out of money, then you're just gimping yourself for no reason other than to farm brownie points with some random people that don't really care about this at all. Because what most people, they create this imaginary person that needs to have the approval, that you need to have the approval from in order to make your game that way. When in reality, the customer decides. And if the customer can't tell or won't care about the AI in your game, then that does not matter. Cakez, ban him. What did he say again? I don't want to read his messages. It's just boring. I'll take. Yeah, you can say I'll take. I'm just saying how it is, man. That's the point. You might not like it, but the customer will decide. I haven't used AI, but I can see what the customer thinks, and I'm just gonna do what the customer wants to have. Because ultimately the game is made for the customer, not for me, and for my own, I don't know, beliefs. If I do that, then I can just quit making games, because I will not earn enough money. Handcrafted leather goods are really nice, lol, yeah, but how many buy them, right? Same with shoes. And so I see AI as a tool to aid you, and as long as you use the tool properly and the result looks cohesive and good, the customer will not know and won't care. And I'm telling you guys, I guarantee you even, there are games out there that use AI today, you don't know about it, and you still enjoyed those games. So, like, the argument that you shouldn't use it just is obsolete at all, because you don't get to decide that. Anyways, let's just move on here. It's about the songs. I want to choose and look at some of these songs here. And AQ, did you figure out what the pricing model is? So he has a Patreon, which creating no copyright, royalty-free music for the world. And then he has a couple of songs here. And how do we join? Do we join? How do we join? About? Do you need high quality free music? If you become my Patreon, you become one of the people I'm dedicating my life making music for. I currently hold more than 500 pieces of music in professional quality that you will get instant access to. My Patreons also get the exclusive right to use my music without having to credit me in their videos and content. Consider this one of the best royalty-free music services on the market, which is probably true. Can I use your music? Yes. Do I need to do anything when using it? Like, no. Can I monetize? Yes. When I become a Patreon, how do I get access to the music? I sent you a Bandcamp download code. This will allow you to download all the music in your desired format. I have to do this manually, but I send it out immediately. I want to ask you something. What can I do? Okay, you can have an email here. What's the different rewards? All tiers get the same rewards. This is why people can pay the amount they are comfortable with and can afford without being excluded from awesomeness. $25 tiers will actually get a cup after 30 months of membership. Can I edit the music? You can edit, trim, and mix the pieces however you like. Here's the problem though. What if I become a member for 1 month, get all the music, download links, and then quit being a member? What then? Do I have to be a lifelong member? Or can I do this once? That's what everyone does. Yeah, but is that okay? That is not in the FAQ. And I'm pretty sure I know why it's not there. He answers it in the full FAQ. Well, but isn't this the full FAQ? Where is the full FAQ? I used only AI to make my game and yoinked art, code and assets. No one has complained so far. I've reached my first big playtest. I'm currently close to release. I just need to optimize the game a bit. Can I share link? Sengo, you can do that, but you will get a bunch of negative comments if you, if you do. Okay, you're banned. You're linking my game. Okay. You're so bad, bro. Goddamn. Cakez, read my message. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I toggle the notification pause.
Make a good game and don't market.
Thank you very much for subscribing. Neon's low. Neon's owl. Sorry.
Don't be afraid of poor marketing and you'll be stronger. Good game will sell nonetheless.
Obesity
the money will come to you.
Okay, AQ.
Commit and push immediately and then go vegan.
Sorry about that, bro.
Uh-oh.
I apologize.
What happened to penis?
I did not mean to do that. Let me see here. Create chords FAQ. Ah, there it is. Okay, thank you. Frequently asked questions. If he says that you can do that, then that's insane.
You have a good time, Cakez, and check.
Can I edit? Absolutely. How do I sign up? Account log. You purchase a multi-license. Account will automatically be created with the email address. I received copyright claim. If you receive a claim, it's because there's no credit in the description of the video. Why are you struggling? Well, the first one was, yeah, because he didn't do any damage, but this one you can't see anything. And second, he's black. If you don't have a paid license, of course.
He spent 300 million
fill out this form.
on money.
Empty.
Can't use your music?
Hello.
Not really, music is whitelisted. Can I publish on Spotify? This is one tricky. Can't redistribute original music. Ouch. If I cancel my Patreon, what happens? Nothing. You will have to credit me in the future content publications, but all existing content...
Hey, I'm not
This is too easy.
What happened?
This is ridiculous. Wait, what?
I thought I died!
How much is it? How much do you want? Become a member. Wait, let me log in. $10 a month. That's just ridiculous, man. That is just
more
ridiculous.
than one means...
It's too easy, guys. $10 for all his music. Every single song. And all I need to do is credit him. That's too easy, man. I feel cheap doing that, bro. That's just crazy. And wait. I cancel my Patreon. What happens? You will have to credit me in the future content publications. But all existing content can stay the way it is. Can I get your entire collection in a single download? For only $5 you receive $25. Buy collection. Please note that this does not mean you are allowed to use this without attribution.
I'm destroying the world.
I need to you can find them with wafers on the side. If you want wafers, you have to purchase them from band. You can convert them, bro. What's your refund policy? All songs are free to listen to. That's crazy. God, we're still listening to these, okay.
Oh shit, I'm so...
That is crazy. That is actually crazy.
Wait, he's dead! He's dead. Wait, I won, right?
Did I win? Should you make game engines or games? Depends on what you want. Hi, Huge. If you want to make a game engine, then you will not sell a game. We usually killed each other. Ooh, double hot sauce. I like that. Does it allow use for commercial products like a game? Yes. So I think we are now finally done.
Am I so out of touch?
Neon's owl, thank you, man.
Knee0n_s0.
I appreciate it a lot, bro.
Subscribe.
Thank you very much. All right, we are finally done, my brothers. We are over. Awesome. Okay, so we are done now with the redemptions. I'm gonna pause them again because people will try to interrupt again. Essentially, so this is the extended FAQ, and here is the part about Patreon. If you cancel it, what happens if I cancel my Patreon? Nothing. You will have to credit me in future content publications, but all existing content can stay the way it is. So essentially, we can go to this entire music library. When we become a Patreon for a month, we get licenses to download these songs. Then we have the license to each song. We can put it right next to it. And then whenever we put it, let's say in a YouTube video or in our game, we can put the license right next to it to credit him. And when we cancel the Patreon, which is, by the way, only $10, euros, whatever, what country you're from, you get access to everything and can still use it in the game. So for 10 euros, you get access to over 600 songs. That's crazy. Let's listen to one of them. Can we listen to this here? How loud is it? Huh? Is it muted? Oh, it's here. Oh, cool. It's at the bottom. Damn! Some good stuff. Literally first video banger. I can't believe it. No, YouTubers won't be able to play your game with music because they need to credit. Yeah. So basically, you could also do it like this. If you purchase a license here, then you don't have to give credit, as far as I understand. Let's see. Is there, if I cancel my Patreon, published during your patronage. So basically, Alex, you will have to credit me in future content publications. But all existing content published during your patronage can stay the way it is. So basically, as long as you are a Patreon, you can, let me see. You can put out YouTube videos without any repercussions because you are a Patreon and it looks like there's an automated system. But if a YouTuber does the content about the game, they don't have a license. So that's what we need to figure out. Amber Watt Soda Poppen. Let me find that here. Why is it so slow? Did he play the game? Wait, is that it? Does he not upload VODs? Soda Poppen archives? Amber Watt with chat. Soda Poppen. Soda Poppen VODs. Damn, this guy gets less views than I. What the hell? What's going on here? Soda Poppen VODs? Okay. Turn-based tower defense game 6 days ago. Surprisingly fun turn-based tower defense game. Nani? What is the game? Well, tower defense game? Is it in there? Staffwatch? Outro song? Business email? What is the game called? Is Let's Defense. 81 reviews. Okay. I'll take a look at that later. Interesting. Is there any platforms I can't where I can't use your music. So I think Soda YouTube sucks, lol. I guess maybe. Can I publish your music on Spotify? No. If I cancel my Patreon. What about YouTube? Let me see here. Can I monetize content with your music? Yes. Can I edit trim? Yes. How do I sign up for creator codes? What is proper credit? My name of the songs you're using, and link to it, preferably either Patreon or YouTube. I received a copyright claim. If you receive a claim from the music BV, this is because there's no credit in the description of your video. My label scans video descriptions. Here it is. For credits and places a claim if no one found. So, and you probably linked Music Night Bear. Yeah, we watched that video the other day. So what happened to him? Can you load, please? Can you please load the video? What happened to him was that he had music gotten free music, or I think he bought the music online, and then someone else monetized that music on YouTube and copyright striked everyone that used the music, and they did it maliciously. So not a single YouTube creator could create and monetize content with his game because of that bad actor. So in this case scenario, the way to get around this for him is to put it in the video description, the label scans, but only if you don't have a paid license, of course. My label scans videos if you don't have a paid license. So basically, if you buy a license, which let's say you go to the music library and you click buy here. I'm not gonna click this because I don't want to get leaked. But essentially, if you buy this here, you get a license and then... But wait, how does that work on YouTube videos? Amber what? There's got to be people that played this and didn't have a copyright strike. Here, 7 months ago. Wow, 400,000. Wait, let's look at the real civil engineer. He 100% has this video monetized. Downloads War Thunder. Okay, so that's War Thunder. Epic Game Store support creator code in connection with the Epic Store program. Wait, so download War Thunder. Where's the link? Emberwood is a super addictive tower defense game. This is a no. The videos will be flagged. This is, yeah, how does that work indeed? Yeah. How would the system that they playing a game with a license? Yeah, how do they know, right? Vegeta eats sensor beans, yeah? Yeah, true. I like these Dragon Ball Z ones. Yeah. I like them a lot, I gotta say. Okay, what about this guy here? This gotta be monetized too. 200,000 subs. Check out Emberwatch. Hashtags. Music I use. Spring Harrisella. Maybe he doesn't have Emberwatch music in the video?
This is a lot of damage on this back rank. This 2 kind of sucks. Sell him a 5 is fantastic.
Maybe he has the music turned off. I think the free tracks might have hidden watermarks that allow them to differentiate them from purchased songs. He mutes music, I think. I can't tell because I didn't play Emberwatch long enough to know what music that is.
I think that we are actually in great shape.
It's difficult to say.
More cannon towers.
I think this is in-game music though. Like, this is actually battle music that just happened. We played the game before too. This is battle music.
Is the key to success. They're starting to...
The YouTuber will not purchase a track to do a YouTube video. Let's say you are a smaller YouTube creator, 10,000 subs, and now you want to make a video about Emberwatch, and you are expecting 5,000 to 10,000 views because you're editing your videos very well and you keep them short. You are not going to pay $20 for one song, and the game actually plays more than one song. Now you need to buy 5 songs. There's no way. Absolutely not. But what I see here is that no one credits anything in their descriptions. I meant the game dev. No, the game devs pay, of course. But the question is, how does YouTube know? You know what we're gonna do? We'll do an experiment tomorrow. I will find the playlist on Spotify and only listen to those songs. And then I'll see what happens to my VODs on YouTube. If they get demonetized or not. Email the guy and ask him. Yeah, we can also ask him. How about this? I ask him and I just do... Where's the playlist on Spotify? It's gotta be here somewhere, right? His Spotify playlist? AQ, you have it, right? Let me see. Patreon.com... Music. No, you don't have it. Or maybe you do? No, you don't. Wait, what is this game? This game. The guy called Alexander. Wait, can I not select this? When I get claimed, you can keep the video up, but you lose monetization, right? Yeah, so that defeats the point of the video, by the way, for most creators. And now you guys can say that that's dumb of the creator to do, but you're not in the situation where maybe YouTube is what pays your bills. Then obviously it's like you going to your job. Ah, here it is. Wait, that's it? 4 songs? Well, there's more. Monthly listeners, what is this? What if he uses watermarks? Yeah, we need to be sure though. Alexandra, this is Alexander. There's got to be the songs. 100%. That has to be it. Let's find a song from the list. Berserker. Berserker. No? It's not all the songs, but I'm pretty sure Tavern Loop 1. Can we search here too? Tavern Loop 1. Okay, so not all the songs are there, but most of them. Click on the discography on his page. Discography on his page? What am I supposed to click? This here? Scroll through previous of tracks from this artist. What am I supposed to click on? What is a discography? Do you have a link for your playlist, Cakes? Yeah, I can give you that in a second. Just remind me. Is this all of the songs he has? Can I play the... Okay, but I can't search here. Leafer Johnny. Okay. Is there a way on Spotify to just play all the songs? Just play it from the website? No, that's not the point. I'm gonna play them through Spotify tomorrow. Hello. This. If you click the first one, it will play all. You sure? Oh, it does. It actually does play all. But unfortunately, we cannot search here, can we? Now, I'm assuming they are all on Spotify already, though. Pre-Apocalypse. Zoo Nightmare, Nightfall. So many, that's crazy. Damn, this one's good. Holy. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is all. It's a ludography, but for music, yeah, I don't know what that is either. Is this dude reading YouTube chat, or is he neglecting us again? No, I am. Most AAA games are using AI nowadays. Check their career pages. Their job listings for AI engineers, yeah. I know AI is used everywhere, and for indie developers to like shy away from this just to get brownie points, it will only hurt them, I think. Now, I have tested out some pixel art AI stuff and it was really bad, so I don't think it's there yet, but in the future for sure. What you can get with pixel art AI is maybe some still images. Animation, not so much. Okay, okay, I guess we have to write him an email. And I can ask him, no, basically, here's how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna join Patreon off stream. And tomorrow we're gonna look through the songs and pick out some songs for the game, for fun. And I'm gonna ask him how this works with YouTube. If I'm a Patreon member and someone makes a video of my game, will they get striked? And then tomorrow we're also going to listen to this playlist as well. I guess we could start now. Why not? If this is everything. It's quite a lot, actually. Interesting. Yeah, okay, so I'll join this off stream though. I don't want to do this on stream. And we could maybe look at some rock ambient. Oh, neutral relaxed. What if we click on relaxed? We just want to have relaxed. What about the tavern? That one's interesting to me, man. Let me see here. Tavern. I don't like the start too much. But if it's... Damn, I like that a lot, man. Oh, yeah. That is good, bro. Guys, yay or nay for this song? Nay? That's a strong opinion, Mr. Lolboy. Why? Might be too good. Okay, you're banned. 3 minutes. Bye-bye. Toxic. I don't want to fall asleep. Make a new playlist. As the song you like, play and add it to the playlist. Yeah. We will. Adventure Beyond, Afterlife. Neutral. Celtic Ambience, Celebration. Cheap Chill, Chemicals. Clear Blue Sky, Dreamy Interlude. Happy. Country, Bluegrass, Comedy, Relaxed, Uplifting, Positive. Oh! Ah? Die Kleine ist ein Löffel. Hell yeah! Bruh! Garbage? What you talking about, bro? Huh? It's great. Country is garbage? Oh, I see. It's your opinion. It doesn't fit in my game though, unfortunately. So let's just look a little bit longer here. Lullaby. Light mood. So wait, I want this to be not relaxed. Let's find a bit of a dramatic, exciting. Let's try exciting. Adventure. What about this? Good for a farm game, yeah. Categories. Trying to figure out where that would fit. Maybe this could fit in like some sort of view for like a world map. You know, could maybe fit here. Battle. What is this? What a difference. Whoa, listen to banger. What is this? Banger. Oh, okay. I need to wait for the drop here. You guys ready? 3, 2, 1. Okay. God damn. Yeah, bro. God damn. Metal rock. See, I don't want metal or rock. I want medieval. Wait, so we can search, right? For title genre mode. Bluegrass, quirky, country, happy, comedy. We need guitar. Classic, majestic, negative. Negative? Like chat? Nah. Dramatic, exciting, relaxed, exciting. Neutral, electronic. Click the settings icon on the top right next. I guess apply filters. There's only 2, man. Wait, what about positive gone? Guys, this is probably not the way to be chillin', be jammin'. Too many tags? Really? I only have 3 tags though. It's only 3 tags, bro. Okay, 2. What do you mean? Now I have less text and it can... So this search function is absolutely atrociously bad. Alright. Alright, we gotta find something else. But I guess I just have to look through them one by one. And then find some. That's good though. Boss fight? Why not collab with someone to get songs for the game? So if my entire idea or reasoning for collabing with someone is to get songs, then I'm basically just abusing them, bro. I don't know what you're asking for me. Did you understand what you are saying, bro? This got to be a good song. Just make them a partner? Of what? Of the game? No. I spent 4 years on the game. They didn't. I'm gonna pay for music or not. Or make my own. That's the main menu song of Amberwood. Oh, really? Interesting. Cool. Celtic ambient dramatic. Isn't that a way to pay for music? Give them 70% of the... Yeah, you guys, of course. Uh-huh. Buzzkiller. Okay, so far what I'm missing is that these songs, at the moment at least, feel more... How do you say that? They seem to be more for... There's not enough retro in it. Yeah, if that makes sense. It's not the... It's not really this. I can't describe it, what it is. It's not there. This does fit better than any of the songs we heard yet. Because this, I think, has some sort of chipmunk to it, maybe not. I can't put my words to it because I'm not a sound designer. I don't know what is the difference here. But there is this difference. Keep in mind, if the author of such a song is a member of something like Germa, even royalty-free songs don't help. You will still have to pay a Germa. I don't know, we'll have to see. Filter on retro 8-bit. True, let's try that. It's the last filter I'm gonna try, and then if I don't find a good... It doesn't have an 8-bit, but I saw 8-bit earlier. I think. Was it on the first page? 8-bit. Retro 8-bit. Page not found. Great. Okay, wait. 8-bit. It's only 2. Pixel Quest. Oh, wow. Could kind of fit this vibe, maybe. Not so loud, of course, right? Less loud. Oh, damn. That could actually fit like some really cool main menu music. Damn, that would be good. Holy. Think about it like this. Put a positive menu in there, like with showing some clouds, a blue sky. That would fit very well. Chick comedy. Yeah, sure. Stoic, thank you very much for following, man. Are you melting in Germany too? Yeah, me too. It's crazy warm here. It's a good main menu lobby music, yeah. I think I'll download that one for sure. But for the other ones, I have to see. It looks like it's definitely missing the pixel art vibe. Which sucks a little bit, because if it's only for like 3D type games, difficult. Reach out to him and make a request for more 8-bit retro tunes. I don't think that's how it works, bro. And even then, let's say he makes 2 more. What if both of them don't really fit? I'm gonna listen to more of the songs and then make a decision tomorrow. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Circus theme bars. We're not looking at that, bro. Hell no, bro. What does pixel art music show? Can you show an example? It's not really pixel art music. It's more the vibe. Here's a big example. His music is more epic, while I'm looking something more along the lines of, yeah, this, for example. Or this one here. This one's a good example. It's more like an upbeat, fast, guitar-like song. I can't really put it to words because I'm not that good with this, right? But yeah. And his stuff is just more epic and slow and which is that doesn't really fit together very well. This one good for your game? You are banned because it literally says shit. Becca, see in 5 minutes. Off topic, how's the new car? It's okay, it drives good. Cakes, the agreement with my friend musician is the following. He approached me saying he's interested in writing music for our game. He makes the songs so they fit our game. We get to use the music in our game while he will be uploading it to Spotify eventually. I don't see how that's abuse. So you have someone making music for you for free. And let's say you earn $1 million. You don't pay him anything. And the only thing that he gets out of it is that he can upload it to Spotify. I would say that's very rare. I've had these offers too, but most of them didn't do any music. Yeah, so we will pay him a fair amount. What does that mean? How much per song? Because let's say you earn $1 million with your game. Now, what is a fair amount compared to you earning $100? I feel like the money you pay him should not change depending on the success of the game. I think it should be done beforehand because maybe you can do that too. You could sell his soundtracks on Steam. Yeah, like that's a good agreement for sure. Yeah, I mean, that's good to do too. More success equals more money, yeah. Are you working on your own game project? Yes, but today is so freaking hot and I have literally been driving for like hours. I'm kind of poofed. And I'm still in deep development of my current system on how I want to implement it. I'm basically currently working on how I want to drop items and give items to the player and how I want to merge items. Basically the item system, making it simple but and not too complicated. It really depends if the game is music heavy / like rhythm games or something, then maybe the royalty percentage deal is good, but usually you want to pay for things like that for the assets as well, yeah. How's the meta progression menu going, Cakes? Oh, good, good. Thanks for asking. It is done. We have 2, yeah, like for example, right now when an enemy dies, they drop an item and I can put it on a unit to upgrade them with that item. If they can upgrade it, otherwise it gets replaced. And I'm currently also working on the skill tree. I try to improve that a little bit more by introducing how much it costs and putting the cost here. And color coding it as well. You watched Squid Game? Actually did not know. And you can see one of them in action here, which is the... what is it called? What is this called again? Deadly ignition. Basically enemies burning run twice as fast, but they also take twice as much burn damage, which I think is a cool little feature to have. Yeah, and so I'm currently just trying to see if the game play is tedious or not. And if it is, how can I improve the game? Like, for example, I have just lost my unit and I lost all of his items. And he had a really strong item. So what should I do? And so currently I'm building this out to just, yeah, play a bit. I'm new in your live room. Yes, I'm building my own game, bro. It is a tower defense game where you have a skill tree as meta progression. And you can mix and match those skills with items that drop from enemies. And every time a new map starts, the items, you find new items. So the player is not supposed to lose. No, the player is supposed to lose, but not items. Yeah, and when chests drop and what is the content of the chests, if it should exclude something like this. Stuff like that. I'm still working on this. Basically, I've done worked on this over the weekend and it's still not ready. This is dumb. He should lose them. No, I'm thinking about dropping the items on the ground when the player dies, when a unit dies. Because you are investing so much into one unit, then the unit dies, but the items are still there, in my opinion. Limiter, thank you very much for following, man. That's the point? Yeah, but people really didn't like that, bro. You have to understand, you're spending so much of your money and effort into getting these items, and then all of a sudden, you lose all of it? You would need to micromanage the units to unequip everything, yeah. They are pansies. So yeah, I'm thinking about a system on how to do this, but we'll see. And yeah, this is the upgrade system here. Works very well. Very proud of this actually. Much like in Kingdom Rush. Does miss some sound effects and animations, but this is how it's gonna be. And the upgrade system will only include stuff that is upgrading the inventory, the user abilities, and units could respawn. Yeah, I thought about this too. So basically, I still need to think about that. And as I'm doing that, I'm working on a new demo version, essentially. People complain about Dark Souls, but that doesn't mean they hate it. Funny thing though, Shade 11, in Dark Souls, when you die, you get one chance to pick up your stuff and still continue. So what you're talking about, your one example doesn't even make any sense, bro. Because you're literally defeating your own argument. Your argument is that the player should lose everything on death, but in Dark Souls you don't lose everything on death. You keep your weapons, and if you get lucky, you can also get your souls back. Okay? So when I buy items and a unit dies in my game, I'm gonna keep the weapons in a way. Or at least give the player a chance to get the weapons back. The game looks like it's for casuals, by the way. How much do you want to allow the players to make mistakes and lose the heroes without needing to restart Cakez? We'll see, it depends. I need to build this a bit more, I need to playtest a lot more. I have mostly all of the systems in now. So now I'm basically... There's a couple of things I still need to do. Like, I have a list here. So also, should I remove the hero from the item itself? Can I put every item on every hero? If yes, I can literally put a sword on a mage. Should I be able to put a sword on a mage? Yes, no, maybe. Or if maybe only weapons have restrictions to heroes, but everything else can be put everywhere. Like, and all of this stuff I need to think about. But yeah, guys, I'm actually kinda exhausted from today. I still need to buy diapers for Zoe, so I'm just gonna turn off the stream, okay? I will be online tomorrow, same time, same place like usual, and then we will talk about some more interesting stuff and actually make progress in the game too. Hello, Supaku. Hope you're doing good, man. I suppose that 3 stars or even 4 stars should take more planning, but the first star should be lenient enough for most levels. First star is just beating the level. First star is beating the level, and then the other stars will see how to do it. Anyways, guys, I'll see you tomorrow, okay? I hope you had fun today. Thank you very much for the big support. Let's go. Okay, see you tomorrow, guys. Have a great day. Peace.